for one of college football's most overlooked rivalries is Middle America. But today, the stage is 4,000 miles away on the east coast of Ireland and the Emerald Isle's capital city of Dublin and Aviva Stadium for the continuation of the sport's longest uninterrupted series. Iowa State and Kansas State, two Big 12 championship and college football playoff contenders, square off for the 109th time in the Week 0 featured matchup, drawing attention both globally and back home in the USA, setting the table for the 2025 season. Iowa State quarterback Rocco Becht makes his 28th career start. Kansas State's Avery Johnson, a potential Big 12 Player of the Year and Heisman Trophy candidate, in front of a full house here in Ireland. And we welcome you to the Aer Lingus College Football Classic. And for the first time ever, you're watching the Big 12 on ESPN from Dublin, Ireland. The first game between ranked teams in Ireland. Number 22, Iowa State, coming off arguably its greatest season yet against number 17, Kansas State. Many people's favorite to win the conference and play in the college football playoff. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, and Taylor McGregor with you. Welcome back to college football. So glad to have you with us. High anticipation for this game. It has been off the charts here in Dublin. And Ireland really, Dusty, has come to signify the start of the college football season.
The scene, the setting here in Dublin, it's awesome and it's very unique. So unique, I was at a pub today, one of 6,000 here in Dublin, and the Cyclones fans, the Wildcats fans, they were living it up. There was a palpability in the air here. The Guinness was flowing, mine was non-alcoholic, but everybody was having a good time, ready for today's matchup.
All right, this game, it has a little bit of a bowl game type feel, an exhibition between two star performers putting on a show for the locals. But obviously, it's a regular season game and a very important one when you consider the context of all the great games we have on ESPN and ABC over the next 10 days. It's as big as any.
We were down the field. This feels like a Big 12 championship game. And this year in college football, it's as wide open as any that I can remember going into that. And nothing more emblematic of that than this Big 12 conference. It is wide open. Over half the league's teams could win this league. It's going to be so much fun, so much excitement, so much competition. And there might not be a bigger game in the Big 12 than the one we're going to see here right today in Week 0.
5 different champs the last 5 years in the Big 12. Arizona State last year. Let's take a closer look at our teams today with Kansas State. A year ago starting 7-1, rose to number 13 in the polls, but the Wildcats quickly fell out of Big 12 title contention with 3 losses down the stretch. But heading into 2025, K-State is the favorite to win the league according to ESPN analytics.
Look, they've got an excellent team, and Avery Johnson coming back this season. I think he takes a big step in year number 2. He's got weapons in the backfield and wide receiver, a veteran front 7. High hopes in Manhattan for this Wildcat team.
Iowa State began 2024 7-0, first time since 1938. And close out the regular season beating Kansas State for the 2nd straight year and 4th time in the last 5 seasons. But the Cyclones' playoff dream died in the Big 12 championship game against the aforementioned Arizona State Sun Devils. Still, Iowa State won its bowl game in a program record 11th contest.
A lot coming back on this Iowa State team, and Matt Campbell told us he learned a lesson from the 2020 season into 2021. He said he took his foot off the gas after they made it to Arlington in 2020. That affected the 2021 season. He wasn't going to make that mistake again. It's been the most physical camp since he's been in Ames, Iowa. Now his 10th season, and this is a team that they really feel what they have on both sides of the ball can get back to Arlington and claim the crown of the Big 12.
First international game ever for Iowa State. This is only the 10th college football game in Ireland as the globalization of the sport continues to skyrocket. And The game a year ago might have been the best here in Dublin, with Georgia Tech knocking off then a top 10 team in Florida State. We're going to hear from Taylor McGregor a little bit later for more on the game, but first to get more on the local feel for how folks in Dublin are consuming college football. Taylor, hit the streets.
We're here on Grafton Street, one of the most iconic parts of Dublin, right in the center of the city. We came to ask the locals some questions. How much do they know about American football? We're about to find out. Do you know any college football teams in America? Yankees?
Dodgers.
The Dodgers. Okay, Trevor, do you know what a touchdown is?
Yeah.
What's a touchdown?
It's when you get the ball over the line.
I think it's when they go over the line and land the ball on the ground.
How many points does a team get if they score a touchdown?
4?
Say 5.
4?
6.
6.
Close.
Right.
Is it 5 points?
6.
No. 6. Oh,
You're getting closer.
get it closer.
What's Iowa State's mascot?
Mickey Mouse. A possum.
Chicken.
You know Kansas State's mascot?
I don't, but it's probably something like a tractor.
Wolf.
Well, as you can tell, we are working hard to make sure the Irish better understand college football. And speaking of hard work, the operations staffs at both Iowa State and Kansas State have been working hard for 16 months to make sure this game today could go off. Beginning with passports, nearly 40% of the athletes in this game had to get a passport to be able to leave the country for the very first time. And of course, when you go internationally, hydration and nutrition are so important. So Iowa State told me they had to travel with 2,500 pounds of snacks, 1,800 pounds of Gatorade, in addition to all the regular equipment, which that equipment includes 2 separate pairs of cleats, which is important because with the rain in the area here today, most of the athletes will be wearing 7-stud cleats. Now also, this is a Kansas State home game, so K-State had to travel their entire game day production crew. So the PA announcer, music, video board will be as if we are in Manhattan, Kansas here today. How about that? 16 months culminating in this moment right here, Dave Pash.
And you mentioned staying hydrated. That is very subjective here in Dublin as to how you hydrate based on what we've seen from a lot of the locals and how the Kansas State and Iowa State fans have enjoyed Dublin, Ireland. 69 degrees at kickoff. As Taylor mentioned, it has been raining most of the day. The sunshine peeking out here at Aviva Stadium. Kansas State won the toss and deferred, so Iowa State will get the ball first. The 2025 college football season is underway from Dublin, Ireland. And after the touchback, Iowa State will start on its 25-yard line. Rocco Becht in his 3rd year as the Cyclone starting quarterback, son of former NFL tight end Anthony Becht, our former colleague here at ESPN. Rocco 2 years ago was the Big 12 Freshman of the Year. He was honorable mention All Big 12 last year. He's got 18 wins as the starting quarterback at Iowa State, 3rd most in school history. Straight games with a touchdown pass. That's the most among active quarterbacks in college football. K-State stacks the box. Hansen on 1st down, and he cuts it upfield for a gain of 3 on the play.
Carson Hansen, expect a heavy dose of the running back out of Minnesota. Was excellent last season with 13 touchdowns. I expect his role continues to increase and to grow throughout the course of this season. Matt Campbell said he's ready to explode this year for the Cyclones.
Another run play on 2nd and 7. Hansen trying to get the edge. And he's tripped up at the 30-yard line. Donovan McIntosh got enough of him to get him to the ground. It'll bring up 3rd down and 3.
McIntosh making his first regular season start. He was a backup all of last season. Started the Rate Bowl at the end of the year, making his first Big 12 start here today. Nice job shedding the block and getting Hansen out of bounds.
And Becht will keep it on 3rd down, and he gets the first down. Rocco Becht had 8 rushing touchdowns last year, so he's very athletic.
Short yardage situations, they love to call Rocco Becht's number. You're going to see a bevy of tight ends today. That one, Benjamin Bramer pulling around, getting in front, and Becht making a man miss for the first down.
Hansen, the ball carrier for the 3rd time, up to the 43-yard line. He will split time with Abu Sama, who is a Kansas State killer. Sama had almost 300 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns 2 years ago, as Iowa State has had Kansas State's number of late.
Such a strength last year, Dave, for Kansas State, stopping the run, 2nd in the Big 12. Iowa State clearly wanting to open up this game, open up this season on the ground, running the football.
First pass play. Becht, and the ball is juggled and incomplete. Eli Green couldn't come down with it. Iowa State trying to replace 2 receivers who are now in the NFL, in Jaden Higgins and Jalen Knoll.
Pass just a little bit high. Eli Green tries to climb the ladder and bring it in. Nice job there by Romaine, making sure he isn't able to get it on the 2nd catch. Joe Klanderman, the Kansas State defensive coordinator, likes to dial up pressure in these spots where they heat up Rocco.
They rush 4. Becht from the pocket is hit and sacked back at the 38-yard line. Toby Osunsami in the backfield along with Jordan Allen for Kansas State.
Was really good coverage, and you're going to see the walls cave in on Rocco Becht. Nice job working through the tight end, condensing that pocket, pressing it right at the point of the quarterback, and getting Rocco Becht to the ground.
Tyler Perkins, 4th year as the starting punter. And Dylan Edwards, very dangerous with the ball in his hands, has to backpedal, and he muffed the kick, and it's recovered by Iowa State at the 8-yard line. Aiden Flora jumps on the loose ball, and Iowa State will have it, goal to go.
One of the most dangerous weapons in the Big 12, Dylan Edwards, a costly mistake to start this game off. Remember last year, Kansas State fumbled the first play of this rivalry matchup on the road, turned into a touchdown for Iowa State. And Dylan Edwards, we've all been waiting to see him get his hands on the football. He just muffs it. Bell there with the hit, and a huge recovery for the Cyclones inside the 10.
You know, Dusty, because of all the fireworks, there's still a lot of smoke in the stadium. You wonder if that impacted at all the vision on that muffed punt by Dylan Edwards. On 1st and goal from the 8, and no running room that time for Hansen. Sayamalo in there for Kansas State. Minimal gain on 1st down.
Well, it's a veteran defensive line. They like this front 7 a lot for Kansas State. They bring back a bulk of the production from a season ago, and a nice job there, changing the line of scrimmage. Nowhere for Hansen to go with the football.
And we mentioned Abu Sama. He's in the game for the first time here on 2nd and goal.
Of Burkle in the red zone.
Back in trouble again, sacked again. Osunsami gets back there again. Loss on the play of 8.
With Osunsami really good with the get off and the hands, the chop, the rip, working off the edge. Extremely well done. Worked it inside, came outside, tight corner, and another sack for this Kansas State defense. Would be huge, Dave, if they could get a stop here after that costly fumbled punt by Edwards.
You mentioned bringing heat. They did not on the last 3rd down. They still got to Becht. Will they come after him here? They're lining up as if they're going to, and here they come. Becht facing pressure again. Lobs, and a flag down as the pass was incomplete. Gabe Burkle got turned around as he was being defended by V.J. Payne in the end zone. Tuta Salam is our referee for today.
Pass interference, number number 7 defense. The ball be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Well, Gabe Burkle, the favorite red zone target for Rocco Becht. And this is a bad mistake by senior and VJ Payne. It's going to be one-on-one coverage. He's going to try to run a corner route. And VJ Payne's eyes in the backfield, not with the tight end. He just grabs him around the waist. That's an easy call and a massive mistake on 3rd and long.
So a fresh set of downs now on the 3-yard line. And it'll be Sama. Hit at the 1 by Payne, falls forward and down short of the goal line.
5 minutes into the season, Dave, and already Kansas State, a huge turnover, costly mistake on 3rd down with that pass interference. We were wondering, you know, this game, the magnitude of this game, and game number 1 out of the blocks, who would be clean? Not very clean early for the Wildcats.
Pitch the Sama, ball on the ground. And Kansas State falls on it. It's Austin Romaine coming up with the football. 2 turnovers in 5 minutes here in Dublin.
Well, this toss is going to hit Sama right in the face. He can't field it. Big hit by Stufflebean. And the leader of this defense, Austin Romaine, on top.
Okay. We back.
And we'll run the football here. Joe Jackson, Dylan Edwards a little banged up, so Jackson getting the first down carry here, and it's a pickup of a couple.
Replacing DJ Giddens at the top of the list for this Kansas State offense coming into this year. The expectation, Dylan Edwards going to be that home run hitter, share much more of the load. And as they're working on him, Joe Jackson gets first crack at it to kick off the season.
Yeah, Giddens almost 1,400 yards last year. 5th round pick by the Colts. No running room that time off the left side. Coming flying in there is Jeremiah Cooper on the hit of Joe Jackson, bringing up 3rd down. Their quarterback is an excellent runner. Avery Johnson, one of 5 players in college football last year with more than 2,700 passing yards and over 600 rushing yards. He's got 14 career rushing touchdowns. But an obvious passing situation on 3rd and 7, although with the early turnovers, maybe that will change how K-State handles this. But empty set with Jackson leaving the backfield on 3rd and 7. And Johnson with a quick pass over the middle. It's incomplete through the hands of Jace Brown. And a quick 3 and out for the Wildcats.
Well, Iowa State dials up pressure. John Haycock brought both backers inside. Wants that ball out quick. See McLaughlin come clean. That pass behind and low. The intended target, Jace Brown. It's a little bit off. And a lot of precipitation coming down right now, Dave. It's been rainy, a little sunny, back to rainy. I think that's definitely impacting some of the issues being able to catch the football here early.
Aiden Flora, who had a fumble recovery on the muff punt by Kansas State, is now the return man for the Cyclones. And it's secured at the 43-yard line of Iowa State. 47-yard punt, no return. Back to Ireland in a moment. Been a great week here in Dublin for all the fans and support staff and obviously the players and coaches. But meanwhile on the field, we've got a developing story, and with more, let's check in with Taylor.
Dave, Dylan Edwards has been spending time with the training staff working on his left ankle. They had to tape it up. He has his head down here on the sideline trying to roll out that left ankle, so we'll keep our eyes on it.
And right now, Taylor, that's big because this may be a running game. We don't have a completion yet in almost 8 minutes. Carson Hansen had no room to run on first down and bring up 2nd and long.
And he should be the thought going into the season, one of the key focal points of this offense. And before they even had an offensive snap, his status, his health, very much in question.
Back to the air, and our first completion for either team. It's Dom Overby who had 1 catch all of last year. He'll come up short of a first down, though, 3rd and about 3.
You mentioned it earlier, replacing Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel. A tall task, but Iowa State feels good about some of the guys they brought in, Chase Sowell, Xavier Townsend, and they spoke very highly of the redshirt freshman Dominic Overby. Nice on the route, getting open to set up 3rd and manageable.
You already mentioned the tight ends. They always have great tight ends. Bramer, Burkle, Cooper Alexander, whose dad Steven played in the NFL, all a threat in short yardage situations to catch the ball. Becht surveying the defense, and the pass off target. He had a receiver, Brett Elskilson, and Iowa State going to punt the ball here and try to pin Kansas State deep again.
I like this call. I know some people would say you're past the 50, go for it. Matt Campbell going to play the conservative game. Precipitation in the air. Liked what he saw from his defense in that opening possession. Try to punt it and pin the Wildcats back deep.
So Chase Gilbert will punt this time, and a different returner with the injury to Edwards. It's Sterling Lockett, Tyler Lockett's younger brother. Gilbert had a little trouble with the snap, and a shorter kick than the last one. Fair caught at the 15-yard line. 34-yard punt, no return.
Well, Avery Johnson is his first year as a starter last year, sophomore season. There was some really good school record 25 touchdowns through the air, and he is a dynamic athlete as a runner, one of the best mobile quarterbacks in all of college football. But he came with some mistakes. He's got to clean those up. 10 picks in total, and 3 of the losses, multiple interceptions. Decision making really needs to start to round into shape. Matt Wells, new offensive coordinator, feels like Avery is in a much better place here year 2 as the start.
And Johnson's pass is caught on the redirection by one of the offensive linemen, Terrence Enos. And so it'll be a negative play, loss of a couple.
Ezeagu gets the big bear paw. He is long, 6'5", 280, jumps up, times it perfectly. And the transfer, Terrence Enos, what I would imagine one of the only receptions he'll have in his career. He probably shouldn't have caught it. Actually lost yardage there on the play.
Joe Jackson still in the game at running back, trying to find room. It's not there. It's going to bring up 3rd and long. You mentioned cutting down the mistakes for Avery Johnson. There's no question that he's a potential player of the year candidate in the Big 12 if he does that. You touched on the early fumble last year. He also had a bad penalty and grounding in the end zone, which led to a safety in this game, and that was really the difference in the game.
First year as a starter, you got to learn through those. We'll see how much maturation the offseason fall camp he's had, because it's not an easy start against this Iowa State defense here in the opener.
On 3rd and 12, Kansas State will just keep it on the ground with Jackson, able to slip one tackle, but then thumped at the 18-yard line. Marcus Neal in there for Iowa State. Another punt coming up.
Conservative play calling there with Joe Jackson getting the ball on 3rd and long. Matt Wells not putting the ball in the hand of his quarterback, Avery Johnson. A little surprised there. We don't see them try to run with him, maybe get a little quarterback run game, get him outside the pocket with a run-pass option.
And Taylor telling us a second ago that Dylan Edwards has now gone to the locker room for Kansas State. McClannon to punt again from inside his 10. Short kick, end over end, and it checks up. And Iowa State's going to have the ball in Kansas State territory. Now the Guinness has been flowing all week for some here in Dublin, Ireland. Present company excluded, of course. Our impact players brought to you by Aer Lingus. Coming into the game, the 2 starting running backs, Carson Hansen and Dylan Edwards. Edwards has not played an offense yet because he got hurt on a muffed punt inside the 10-yard line. On the first chance for him to touch the football, he went back to the locker room. Joe Jackson has been the only running back on the field for Chris Kleiman so far in the game.
Matt Wells described Dylan Edwards like a video game to me. And his impact, potentially not in this game, is massive, Dave Pasch.
Iowa State, though, turned it over after it got the takeaway. Carson Hansen, and again, no running room, maybe a yard or 2. Big hit by Rex Van Wy.
Pads popping down there. Both these front sevens to start this game, they have been fierce. Kansas State really hangs her hat on that front seven. Iowa State's looked very good. Both these offensive lines going to have their hands full for 60 minutes here this afternoon.
A grand total of 3 passing yards between the two teams in 10 minutes of action. Beck's pass caught this time. Close to a first down is Gabe Burkle. And it is an Iowa State first down.
Gabe Burkle just going to sneak outside. Nobody out there in the flats in zone coverage. Eyes in the backfield. A good find by Rocco Beck.
26 catches and a touchdown for Burkle a year ago. Junior from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Backed off play action, and his pass is caught for a first down. Brett Elskelson, who's wearing Jaden Higgins' old number 9 on the first down grab.
Well, that RPO, watch this safety sneak down. It's going to create a void in this skinny post. Rocco Beck, good job selling it inside. You get that safety to creep up. There's open space and a strike to Eskelson.
Take a picture. We've had back-to-back completions. Obviously a wet field, wet football, rain off and on here in Dublin. Kansas State rushes 5, Beck throwing to the end zone, and it's caught for a touchdown. Dominic Overby able to haul it in. The first score of 2025. Nineteenth consecutive game with a touchdown pass for Rocco Beck, a school record in the FBS active leader. And Overby already with more catches in this game, 2, than he had all year in 2024, just 1. Conrady makes it 7-0 Iowa State.
Well, it starts with the protection. Kansas State's going to dial up a blitz. They've struggled. Iowa State struggled to protect so far. Carson Anson's going to step up, and he's going to be really good here. But watch here. One-on-one coverage. And it's going to be Wesley Fair just gets beat. Good sell inside by Overby, and a dime delivered by Rocco Beck. Great route. Wesley Fair gets caught inside. He can't overcome. They told us Dominic Overby was the fastest player on offense. A lot of excitement in Ames, Iowa, as they watch from 4,000 miles away.
Rocco Beck really settled down on that last possession.
Could not have delivered a better football, and it's amazing when you give him a little bit of time, a nice pocket. The receiver wins on a one-on-one route. Strike up the band. And the Cyclones on the board for the first time this year.
Jace T. Gilbert will kick it away. They actually have 2 Jace Gilberts. Jace J. Gilbert is a defensive end. The two are not related. And this is going to sail out of bounds, so very good starting field position for Kansas State. Time now for the first ever Dublin edition of Dusty's Defensive Dudes.
We got to do it. Let's start with the big boys in the middle. A defensive tackle for Iowa State. Dominic Orange, he is big, he is athletic, creates negative plays, tough to move, one of the best nose guards in all of college football. And Austin Romaine might be the best linebacker in the Big 12 coming into this season. A coach on the field, his instincts, knowledge of the game, always in the right place, the right time. Both these defenses got a lot of good players, but these two extremely impactful, helping lead their front sevens.
And you mentioned Dominic Orange. What a great nickname. The Big Citrus.
Yeah.
In the middle of that Iowa State defensive line. And they're going to go Wildcat here with Jace Brown taking the direct snap, faking the pitch to the quarterback, Avery Johnson, and taking off past the 40. And Brown thrown out of bounds at the 30-yard line by Marcus Neal. A gain of 35.
Well, it's excellent blocking out in front. Garrett Oakley is going to get out and secure a block. Joe Jackson as well. Motion's going to come across. They shift to this on the fly. Just a really nice job running the sweep to the edge. Good perimeter blocking. And a big pickup there, exactly what the Wildcats needed.
But movement by Kansas State.
False start, number 86, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Garrett Oakley, one of the tight ends for Kansas State. You see those types of penalties early, right? You get a big play, you're trying to get up there, get your offense going. You've got Iowa State off balance a bit, and you commit a mental mistake. Here's Avery Johnson out of empty. Now they shift Joe Jackson back next to him. Johnson's pass is a little inside and incomplete, intended for Will Swanson. Marcus Neal, who the Iowa State coaches feel is a potential superstar, was there defensively.
It's good defense, but this pass behind his intended target. Tough for Swenson to come back to that football. It's a catchable ball, but touched on Marcus Neal. He really stepped up last year as a freshman, had a great game against Miami in the Pop-Tarts Bowl victory, and big expectation for the sophomore there in that star position of this defense.
Another run play on 2nd and 15. Devon Rice inside the 30, got a chunk of it back. Gain of about 9. Rice had just 1 carry all last year. Took a red shirt. He's a freshman from Las Vegas.
Second time we've seen Kansas State get on the perimeter. Good job by the center, Sam Hecht, pulling out in front. Important 3rd down. We have not called the name of Jerron Tibbs, the Purdue transfer. They raved about what he's brought to the table. Could we see him now in a crucial 3rd down to keep this drive alive?
Got single coverage up top against him. Kansas State going to run Jackson up the gut, and he gets knocked down 2 yards short of the line to gain by Jamison Patton and Marcus Neal. 4th down.
I think that play call from Matt Wells tells you that Chris Klieman told him you got 2 to work with. And that 4-down territory here for Kansas State as they keep the offense on the field. No doubt. The inside zone. Matt Wells knew this is 4-down territory.
See if they keep it on the ground again here on 4th down and a yard. And the play clock down to 5. So Kansas State has to call a timeout. Well, this is the start of an incredible first weekend of games on the ESPN networks. You've got Boise State, USF. Boise made the playoff last year. Nebraska, Cincinnati. A healthy Deion Sanders. Good to know Coach Prime is healthy going into this season after battling cancer in the offseason. Colorado, Georgia Tech next Friday. An ABC triple header. Clemson, LSU, Alabama, Florida State. And Kate Klubnik, many feel, a Heisman Trophy favorite going into 2025.
This feels like much more than an appetizer, but boy, next week it is definitely the main course. As good of a week 1 as I can remember. Kate Klubnik is my favorite to win the Heisman Trophy heading into this season. I think that Clemson team is absolutely loaded, but so is LSU. It's going to be a heck of a game there in Death Valley.
4th down and 1 for Kansas State. Jackson got it and more inside the 20 and down to the 16-yard line.
6 yards on the play. Good for 1.
It's a really good double team. Andrew Lane getting the right tackle. Bangs down hard right inside. See that hole open up. That's Dominic Orange on the inside. Nice hard double team. Opened up that path for Joe Jackson to move the sticks.
And the ball on the ground again. Johnson picks it up and throws it away. He was outside the tackle box. He did get it through the neutral zone, so no grounding, even though there was not a receiver in the area. Pressure from Caleb Bacon.
Try to see here. Tough to tell. That's on the running back, on the quarterback. Some miscommunication there as Avery Johnson tries to pull it out. Ball's on the ground. Heads up play. Being able to grab that football, get outside the pocket, and throw it away.
Maybe learn from that grounding call against Iowa State last year by getting outside the pocket. Here he's belted, but keeps his balance momentarily. Jontez Williams with the hit, but a good run by Avery Johnson of 6 yards.
Boy, Jontez Williams, corner blitz off the edge. If he doesn't come with that type of impact, that might have been 6. A big gaping hole on the quarterback counter. And Williams able to get enough to get Avery Johnson to the ground.
They will not run another play here in the first quarter. A lot of fireworks literally before we kicked off, and some of the smoke may have impacted the sight line for Dylan Edwards, who was hurt. One of Kansas State's most important players on the muff punt that led to a turnover. 7-0 Iowa State after 1. Now here is a look at Sony's new movie, Caught Stealing, in theaters on August 29th.
To get this stop.
Well, we're going to have to do a great job finding the sticks here. You know, they do a really good job trying to present the ball at the sticks on third down. We're going to have to defend the sticks right now.
How has the weather impacted this game?
Well, you know, early that play down there, I thought we had a really good play. We just didn't handle the ball security very well. So I thought our kids did a great job fighting back, though.
Dave?
Well, Matt Campbell-Taylor, one of the best coaches in the country, #1 all-time at Iowa State in wins, 3-time Big 12 Coach of the Year, 10th season, but no Big 12 championships yet for the Cyclones. They're off to a good start, leading 7-0, and now the defense faced with trying to stop Avery Johnson, whose only completion was on a tipped ball to an offensive lineman. And Johnson will keep it himself, and Johnson heads for the end zone. Touchdown, K-State. Who needs to throw the ball when you got him running it?
Love the play call by Matt Wells there. Haven't seen any confident throws from Avery Johnson. Allow him to utilize what comes to him most naturally, that running ability. Great call and well executed to get the Wildcats on the board.
First ever attempt at Kansas State for Luis Rodriguez, who is kicking for the College of the Canyons, junior college in California. For the extra point, no problem, and that ties the game 5 seconds into the second quarter.
What's tight ends, boy, it's a tight end game. Watch Garrett Oakley get upfield and get a key block. Inside, you see that defensive end cheat inside. Garrett Oakley secures that block, opens up that edge. And Avery Johnson puts his foot in the ground, gets north and south, and he finds the end zone. We show James, Dave, they love it in Manhattan just as much.
And they love Avery Johnson, and boy, the coaches would love to continue to run Avery Johnson more. They emphasized him getting stronger in the offseason, put on about 12 to 15 pounds. It's pretty noticeable in his upper body. They want him to be able to handle the hits, especially late in the season. That's where Kansas State struggled down the stretch last year, losing 3 of their final 4 conference games.
Really showed, as you mentioned yesterday, watching them on Thursday at practice and even talking with him when we sat with Avery Johnson yesterday. He is bigger, 12 pounds. He knows that his number is going to be called more and more, and especially with Dylan Edwards out of this game, they've got to be able to create that run game, that explosiveness. You quarterbacks in college football bring that to the table the way Avery Johnson does.
McClellan kicking it deep for Kansas State. Fair caught, and will come out to the 25. Take a look at Rocco Beck's last drive. 3 straight completions.
Well, give him some time, and the dude can deal. That's exactly what he was doing this last drive. Nice easy find by Burkle, leak it out into the flats. Good confident throw we saw to Eskelson. And how about this, an absolute dot over the top to a 6'5" Dominic Overby and a Cyclones touchdown. Really saw Rocco Beck settle in that drive as he was flawless leading this offense.
6 touchdown passes in 2+ games in his career against Kansas State. 18-9 record as a starter. Dad Anthony played 11 years in the NFL. Mom, an All-American gymnast in West Virginia, grew up in Tampa area after Beck, his dad, was done playing for the Buccaneers, and came to Ames, Iowa for college football. Run play on 1st and 10, and Sama with nowhere to run on the perimeter gets decked about a yard downfield by Zayshawn Rich, the corner.
Early penetration come flying in for this Kansas State defense. Cody Stufflebean, they pull those backside guard tackle at backside defensive end. He can penetrate, can completely disrupt the play. Nice job by the front for Kansas State. With a lot of motions, a lot of shifts. They love these tight ends, as you've touched on. 3 tight ends in the game here on 2nd down. Make it 4.
Back to the air. And trying to dump it off to Burkle. Overshot him. There was a little pressure late by Kansas State that time. Now the Beck family is here. There's Anthony, who worked at ESPN for a while and is a head coach in the UFL and also does New York Jets games as the radio analyst.
Great guy Anthony is. Outstanding player at West Virginia, then on the NFL. Awesome for us at ESPN and doing a really nice job in the XFL. He's made the trip to watch his son lead this football team.
Back on 3rd down and 9. Gets leveled and fumbles the ball. It's recovered by Kansas State. Knocked out by Quay Moss, recovered by Chidi Obi-Izor.
But Joe Klanderman's going to dial it up. He's bringing pressure. He's got Quay Moss walked up to the line of scrimmage, and he really does an excellent job with this blitz. Watch Quay Moss right here. He's going to start up. He's going to work inside, and he's going to come scot-free and clean and get to the quarterback. Very well done as he works back inside late. Rocco Beck never identifies him. Ball's out. Kansas State on top. Really good job by Moss. Not just getting to the quarterback, Dave, but getting that hand on the football. Rocco had the ball low. Quay Moss knocks it out. And Kansas State forces their first turnover of the season.
And they'll take over at the 16-yard line of Iowa State. The second takeaway for Kansas State's defense. K-State had the 1 fumble. And now they run the perimeter, but tracked down is Devon Price for a loss on the play. Caleb Bacon, a guy that is a captain. It's a former walk-on that had no FBS offers. Went as a walk-on 2 years ago to Ames.
Love to see that. He was hurt the first series of last season, and it was a devastating loss for this Iowa State defense. Just began a litany of injuries at linebacker. He's back. He's healthy. Nice job getting upfield, creating the negative play.
Johnson finds an open receiver in the middle of the field. Garrett Oakley close to a first down. About a half-yard shy at the 7-yard line.
Well, zone coverage there by Iowa State. Oakley finds that soft spot in the defense, and a quick find from Avery Johnson. Seen them run the football in these spots.
Saw with the quarterback on the last possession.
Joe Jackson in there. Got to keep that defense honest. The ability of Avery Johnson. Multiple tight ends in here for Kansas State on 3rd and short.
Joe Jackson gets the carry, lunges forward, and gonna be close. The initial mark looks as if he's short. Carson Willick, another linebacker for Iowa State that missed last season due to injury, made the stop. It is 4th down and a yard.
Chris Klieman, he wants to cash in off this turnover. He's going for it. They've been aggressive here so far in this game, and that's not changing at this point, as he elects to go, and I like the call.
Give to Jackson, and he's hit in the backfield and taken down by Marcus Neal. Does not appear to have it. A turnover on downs forced by the Iowa State defense.
Wow, we touched on Marcus Neal earlier. He ended last season with such an outstanding game against Miami. The sophomore. Watch this speed coming downhill right at you. 4th and 1. game rivalry, maybe a Big 12 championship. Later in the season on the line, Marcus Neal's downhill, and he gets a big stop. We're tied up in Dublin.
Welcome back to the Aer Lingus College Football Classic. Again, it's so hard to wrap your brain around what this week feels like for the players and the coaches. Coaches told us we had to tell the players over and over again, yes, have fun, this is great, you're out in the community, but it's not a bowl game. This is a very short business trip. They came in a couple of days early, they're leaving tomorrow, and each team has a game next Saturday back in the States. Beck's throw is incomplete. There was some contact between Bramer and McIntosh, but no flag on the play. So last season, Iowa State lost 2 fumbles all year, and they've already had 2 in this game.
First one that hit Sama right in the face. I kind of wonder, precipitation coming down, how much of a role did that play? The last one that we saw had nothing to do with precipitation. That was Quay Moss getting inside on a blitz. The key, though, Iowa State's defense holding those turnovers, not resulting in points.
Back down the rollout on 2nd down and 10. Slings it over the middle, and it's dropped. It may have been caught and then fumbled. Now it's ruled incomplete. It was jarred free as Burkle tried to haul it in.
Boy, Wesley Fair gets a running start. He times this up perfectly. Collision right on the football. Nice job separating man from ball. And Gabe Burkle, one of the more sure-handed pass catchers on this Iowa State team. It's a nice job by Fair, who struggled early in coverage, coming up in zone coverage, making a play.
Back to throw again from his end zone. Hansen out of the backfield, gets walloped. It takes a second man to bring him down. The initial hit by Justice Clemens to slow him up. And a 3 and out for Iowa State.
Justice Clemens, he's the 3rd cornerback in. Really good job, giving up quite a bit of weight. He's given up probably close to 30 pounds of the 220-pound. Carson Hansen gets that initial contact, and he waits for his boys to come. Good pursuit coming down by Osunsami.
Tyler Perkins to punt from midway to his end zone. And again, it's Sterling Lockett, younger brother of NFL star Tyler Lockett. Will he get a chance? It's a huge punt. Lockett signals for the fair catch and has it at the 42-yard line after a 50-yard punt. All 6 episodes of The Kingdom are available now, streaming on ESPN Plus and Disney Plus. The Kingdom takes an unprecedented look at the Kansas City Chiefs' legacy over 60 years of highs and lows, focusing on their incredible 2024 season. Mahomes and company looking to get back to the Super Bowl again and win it this time after falling to the Eagles 6 months ago.
They're going to have a great team. Great team. They got a great tight end, Travis Kelce. I bet he's watching this game. All the tight end play between Kansas State and Iowa State on display.
The Wildcats take over on their 41-yard line. Again, Jackson in for the injured Dylan Edwards, and a wide receiver screen to Jaron Bradley, trying to get the ball in his hands, and he was brought down immediately by Cale Brazina.
Look at this, Jontez Williams coming in, fighting inside that initial contact. He is so good. Jontez Williams, one of the best corners in the Big 12, preseason all Big 12 this season. He's played a lot of football at Ames. Nice play, creating a negative on 1st down.
Loss of 2. So they're off schedule and running on 2nd and 12. Devon Rice nowhere to go, and he's swarmed. Hit by Neal and Bell at the 37-yard line. Another negative play. 3rd and about 14 now.
Just building a wall. That's what Iowa State defensively is doing. Everybody where they need to be. Pursuit to the football. Really well done. Willock there initially. Bell coming downhill. It's good defense from Iowa State. I watched on Thursday John Haycock go through his 3rd down pressures. Well, they have all kinds of different pressures, and they'll show pressure, they'll bail. They're showing pressure on 3rd down.
But they bail. They rush 3. A flag down. Movement by Kansas State. So clearly that's getting to the Wildcats, what you're talking about.
Hugged up to the line of scrimmage, showing a lot of pressure inside. Kansas State moving a little bit early.
A lengthy conversation. One of the officials looks like he's pointing at Iowa State as if maybe they were doing something that's illegal to try and draw
Delay
the
of game.
offside. Yep,
Defense.
that's it.
Number 9. The linebacker made symbols that simulated the beginning of the snap. It's
That is a
5-yard
point of
penalty.
emphasis.
3rd down.
Kale Brazina cost them 5 yards.
Matt Campbell is not happy. This is, as you mentioned, a new point of emphasis.
He's mad at the officials, not at his defense.
No. He's mad at the call because he's saying that he was telling his guys that his linebacker was making a call not toward the offense.
So Avery Johnson on 3rd and 8. A receiver is wide open for a first down. It's the tight end, Garrett Oakley. All the way down to the 38-yard line. Gain of 20.
Boy, Iowa State just playing soft. They're going to play soft, and you're going to see him just find a little open space right here. As Iowa State continues to bail outside, Oakley finds that grass, finds that space, and a big conversion on 3rd down.
Oakley, second team all Big 12 tight end in 2024. 2 catches so far in this game. That pass behind the line, that's a live ball. It's scooped up by Devon Rice, and he does well to get back close to the line of scrimmage on that backwards pass. Another fumble.
The pass was backwards, recovered by the running back. 2nd down.
That's
So
smart.
2nd and 12.
Smart by Rice, Dave. Very smart. This is just as you heard. This was a backwards pass at the live football. Recognizes that. Doesn't just get on the ball, but gets up the field and almost back to the line of scrimmage.
Is that designed to be a backwards pass or poor decision by Avery Johnson the way he threw the ball?
Or is it the running back who's back further than what he should be? Remember, Dylan Edwards typically would be catching that pass.
Joe Jackson with room downhill, and he fumbles the ball, and it's recovered by Iowa State. Right into the arms of Tayshaun James. Another lost fumble here in Ireland.
True Surgis, the safety coming up. There was a big hole opened up. Surgis comes down, squares up Joe Jackson, falls out, Cyclones on top.
Each team with 2 lost fumbles here in the first half. It started with Dylan Edwards, who got hurt on this play, muffing a punt.
Then it's Abu Sama on the goal line. The toss, misplayed, mishandled. Kansas State on top. Quay Moss times this blitz up perfectly. Sama out there in protection, can't get back inside. He gets home, ball's free, and then we saw the big hit. Drew Surgis jars this ball loose. Get the Cyclones the football back.
These are 2 very physical football teams, and that is on full display here in Dublin. Kicking off the 2025 college football season, the 10th game ever in Ireland, 4th edition to the Aer Lingus College Football Classic. It'll be North Carolina and TCU next year. They'll play a week from Monday on ESPN. Bill Belichick's first game as that pass is tipped and incomplete. Dom Overby could not hang on. He had the touchdown for Iowa State in the first quarter.
Well, it's a nice job breaking on the football. Donovan McIntosh feeding the ground, break back to the ball, knocks it loose at the last second. Well played there by the 6'3" sophomore from St. Louis.
Here's Sama running left, and he's got the edge, and he picks up a first down before he's thrown out of bounds by Austin Romaine. And Romaine over there amongst a bunch of Cyclones. No flags yet, just a lot of talking and an occasional push and shove. And now a little bit more pushing. Officials may need to get control of this. But we don't see any flags on the field.
They call it a rivalry for a reason. No love lost between these 2 teams that are so eerily similar of one another. Both very successful in the Big 12. They both play a physical brand of football, developmental football.
Hey, a lot of the players for Kansas State told us when we spoke with them yesterday, they hate Iowa State more than they hate Kansas. 109th meeting going back to 1917. In trouble, Beck gets away from a defender, and Beck takes off, diving past the 40. A gain of 8 on the play. Daniel Cobbs had the pressure. Nice job by Becht.
So good by Becht. He feels that pressure off his right. He sees it. He slides to his left. Hole opens up. And a nice pickup on first down. That was a free hitter in Daniel Cobbs. We saw a similar pressure from Quay Moss. The veteran Becht felt it that time. Creates a nice play when it could have been staring at a sack.
Second and short, play action. Becht setting up, lobbing it, and it's dropped by Cooper Alexander. Would have been a first down and more into K-State territory. Instead, it's 3rd and 2.
Boy, the future's so bright for Cooper Alexander. Missed last year with an injury. They were so excited to get him back. Eyes just slightly off the football at the last second.
Iowa State 1 for 5 on 3rd down. Keep it on the ground with Sama, and Powers to the line, but maybe a half-yard short. Again, Austin Romaine in there for Kansas State, along with Obi Izor and Seumalo.
We saw him earlier on 4th and short, punt the football from the other side of the field. Now, they love in these really short situations, quarterback sneak, and to keep the ball with their quarterback, Rocco Becht. The offense stays on the field. I'd expect it stays in his hands.
They got a full house backfield with 3 men lined up right directly behind Becht. Now we got a timeout on the field to review whether he is indeed short of the line to gain. Back in a moment. It remains 4th down. Ruling on the field is upheld. That is new language this year in college football. No more stands or confirmed. It's just upheld, and you could tell they're unable to see the ball, so they're not going to overturn that. 4th down and a yard. And Rocco Becht out of empty now. He's 1 for his last 6 passing. And Becht will keep it. And he's able to fall forward and get the first down. Tackled on the play by Seumalo and Gabe Powers.
Like that. They lined up before that review like it was going to be a sneak. They spread it out, bring the tight end across, and just rely on their quarterback to get the first down.
Sama tried the left edge, and Obi Izor stands him up. Had a fumble recovery earlier. Seumalo in there as well. Iowa State coming off an 11-win season, a program record, made it to the Big 12 championship game, lost to Arizona State. We've had 5 different champs the last 5 years in the Big 12. December 6th in Arlington is the Big 12 championship, and here we are in August, a game that has major implications, not on just the conference title, but the college football playoff. The highest 5 ranked conference champions get bids to the 12-team field. Year 2 of that as the pass is caught, a first down. It's Benjamin Bramer, hurt for most of last year, getting to the 32.
Well, this is a size mismatch. 5'10" Quay Moss working on 6'7". Benjamin Bramer does a good job getting inside leverage, and that ball timed perfect from Becht.
Sama running to the right this time, and he gets pushed back at the line of scrimmage. Obi Izor in there first, and eventually trampled by several other Wildcats. Inside 5 minutes to go now in the first half.
Kansas State front's been stout all throughout the course of this game, stuffing up this Iowa State run. Cyclones unable to get much of anything, just 23 yards on the ground here so far. The defensive line and the linebackers really working well off of one another.
Pressure coming. Becht has to leave the pocket and throws incomplete. To your point, Dusty, defensively, it looks like these teams are in mid-season form, but not offensively here in Dublin.
A little bit sloppy, my friend, a little bit sloppy. We've seen so far balls on the ground with the litany of fumbles, some drop passes. The offenses have yet to catch up to the defense here early on.
Only 101 yards for Iowa State, 117 for Kansas State. Now 3rd and 9 And with the wet ball, the wet field, you wonder if this is too long for a field goal. It would be about 50 from here. But they will throw. Beck's pass is knocked down, incomplete. It was Desmond Purnell, the leader of that defense, with a hard hit on Overby. And Iowa State will indeed try the long field goal.
Well, they teach linebackers in coverage, separate the man from the football. Overby over the middle, and Purnell there immediately, shoulder in the midsection, ball out to force this field goal attempt.
Kyle Conrady, whose career long is 54. That was the game winner against Iowa last year. This is a 49-yard attempt. Been drizzling throughout the game. The field chewed up. And this one is way right from the get-go and no good. He had only one miss all of last year from more than 40, and he misses here from 49 to start 2025.
Boy, big stop there for that Kansas State defense. And that ball just pushed from the very beginning. Nice shot by Perkins getting the snap down. The ball never really had a chance, Dave. It started right and it stayed right.
Well, you mentioned the snap. It was at the right shoulder pad of the holder. So Kansas State will take over. 4:13 to go. 2 timeouts left. And the 2-minute timeout to work with. Year 2 of the 2-minute timeout in college football. From the 31-yard line. Up the middle, Jackson picks up about 4 yards. Here's Taylor.
Frustration starting to build on this Kansas State sideline with the fumbles and the turnovers, and Avery Johnson going to his offense and saying, we are not going to lose this game because we beat ourselves. He told the offensive line, hey, it starts with you. I need everybody to play better. They have talked about how Avery Johnson has really stepped up as a vocal leader, and I've seen it on the sideline.
That's an important report from Taylor. Him stepping up as a vocal leader, a huge point of emphasis. Good to see that taking shape here in the first half of the season.
Play action for Avery Johnson. Hoisting it toward the sideline and off the fingertips of Jerron Tibbs. Really the first time we've mentioned him, and it's late in the second quarter. They were really bullish on the transfer from Purdue.
A long throw there, and the ball just continues to sail outside, unable for Tibbs to reach out. He tried. He's got those big mid-strong hands, but unable to bring that pass in.
Only 27 passing yards for K-State. Not much better for Iowa State, 78.
As a defender, you got to be mindful, keeping good rush lanes, showing pressure here. But Avery Johnson, he can be a live runner in this situation.
5-man rush. Johnson gets it away quickly. A little rub route downfield, and it's caught for a first down by Jackson out of the backfield. Jaron Bradley did a pretty good job, the wide receiver out there.
Well, you're exactly right. Bradley, his route sets that screen and allows on the out route Jackson to come open. Great timing there as well from Avery Johnson, delivering a perfect pass.
Still no Dylan Edwards. Out with an injury, so it's Joe Jackson and Devon Rice in the backfield on first down. Rice downhill, dragging tacklers to the 46-yard line. 4 yards there for Rice. Kansas State will take on North Dakota next week in Manhattan. Iowa State will be home to South Dakota. As you look at Edwards, been out since getting injured on the muff punt a couple of minutes into the game. Can Kansas State win without their star? They fake the jet sweep. Johnson kicking it into Iowa State territory. A flag down late as Johnson is finally spilled by Patton.
Little quarterback counter action.
Dominique Orange trying to act as if he got shoved by a Kansas State player, but there are way too many officials around to get away with that.
You're not buying the acting job by Big Citrus?
Holding, number 69, offense. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Taylor Portier, the 7th-year guard for Kansas State, commits the penalty. Again, it's a slick field, Dusty. You played the position. that Orange does.
Whoa, I think the official is the white hat. The white hat's the one that actually pushed him. Like,
Tutu Salam doesn't know his own strength.
He
Able to
doesn't.
shove a 330-pounder to the ground with ease.
been hitting the gym. I think with that Iowa State strength coach. We saw him on Thursday. He's jacked.
They have a point of emphasis and a new rule now for faking injuries. That wasn't part of it.
No.
That's when you fake an injury, really, a guy just goes down to the ground. You will now be charged a timeout when that happens before the ball is set. But what Big Citrus did there was in a dead ball situation. No harm, no foul. Definitely sloppy, Kevin. Been raining, overcast. It rains about 150 days a year here in Dublin. 2-minute mark. Johnson going to keep it himself, trying to find a running lane. It's not there. He gets crunched by 3 Cyclones. Cooper Ebel in there again, along with Jeremiah Cooper.
Both come downhill. Mike Campbell wants to get this ball back, wants to have Rocco Beck another opportunity with the ball if they can get a stop on this 3rd and long.
Well, Dusty, the all-new ESPN app is here. It's the best way to watch sports. All of ESPN in one place with live games, live stats. You can track your fantasy teams, personalized with your favorite leagues, teams, and players, direct to consumer, all in one place, the ESPN app.
It's going to be awesome. Have you gotten yours yet?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Signed up, ready to go.
And so much to watch, whether it's high school football. We got coming up next, Mater Dei, St. Thomas Aquinas. Or the great games we have week 1, starting Thursday with the doubleheader, then Georgia Tech, Colorado Friday, great slate Saturday, LSU, Clemson, ABC, Prime, and then Sunday, a couple of big games, Notre Dame at Miami, battle of top 10 teams, Sunday night ABC, and then Monday night, Bill Belichick's debut, North Carolina, TCU, the teams that'll play here in Dublin next year.
How crazy is that? Bill Belichick in college football.
3rd down and 8, both teams with 2 timeouts. Iowa State trying to preserve time by calling the last one on defense. Rushes 3. Johnson over the middle. It's caught a first down by Jace Brown.
Well, nice right there by Jace Brown. Gets inside leverage. Nice post and a good find by Avery Johnson. 2nd time we've seen him convert on 3rd down.
Not sure what the stoppage is. The clock stopped to reset the chains here in the last 2 minutes. Maybe a spot issue, but Chris Kleiman's irate. He wanted to go up tempo.
Yep.
He had Iowa State's defense on its heels and did not like the official stopping. There was not a substitution that time. Not sure what that was about. Sideline pass, and sliding down is Tibbs. Just lost his footing, as we've seen a lot. Gain of 5, inbounds, so the clock is moving.
The footing not optimal here today. We've had rain coming down at different times, and good pass, just Tibbs unable to keep his feet.
Johnson will throw again. Another sideline pass to Tibbs. He gets the first down before he steps out to stop the clock at 1:16.
With a lot of cushion right now, and Avery Johnson, slow start throwing the football. He's really coming into his own. He's fine now. Tibbs, they're on back-to-back plays.
Keep in mind, as Kansas State drives here, they have a new kicker. 3-year starter Chris Tennant is gone. Luis Rodriguez, 1 year of junior college. He is the new place kicker for the Wildcats. Empty set here for Avery Johnson. Blitz coming up the middle. Johnson in trouble, and that pass incomplete. There was no receiver in the area. Hard to tell if he got outside the pocket. He definitely got that one past the line of scrimmage, but there's a conversation right now from the officials if Avery Johnson got outside the tackle box. And there's a flag. Grounding.
I was going to say, he drifted back. He didn't drift outside.
The ball be placed at the spot of the foul. It's 2nd down.
Let's bring in Matt Austin, our rules expert. Avery Johnson disagrees with the call. What did you think, Matt?
Well, I agree with you, Dave. The quarterback dropped pretty much straight back. He rolled a little bit to his right, but he did not get outside the tackle box. There's no receiver in the area. I think that's a good flag.
And thank you, Matt. That's again a mistake that Avery Johnson made too often last year. He told us yesterday, I got to cut down on the mental errors.
Well, the problem was they had a backer coming off the edge clean. If he drifted too far to the right, he was going to get hit in the head.
So I got to get the clock right here. It's about 20 seconds off. With 52 seconds now. And because of the penalty and the loss of down, you're at 2nd and 22 and out of field goal range. All right, so they add 10 more seconds. The fans here want the clock to run to get to halftime because it's time for another pint.
That's right. It's pint time here in Dublin. Can you just get half this back here on 2nd down?
Johnson throws high and almost intercepted on the sideline. It was intended for Jace Brown. And Jeremiah Cooper's got 7 career picks. He almost had number 8.
Ezeagu working off the side. Good job getting that rip up, getting the arm of Avery Johnson. And you don't have to try to get the first down. Can you get enough yardage to where you can get Rodriguez and manageable distance to try to get you some points here before halftime?
How do you handle this if you're Iowa State? You bring the heat. He's had some trouble with pressure.
Get the ball out of his hands. I think they're going to sit back and play coverage here, Dave.
Yeah, they drop everybody back, and there's what you're talking about. Just a quick hitter to try to get yards, and a great tackle in the open field by Caleb Bacon. Iowa State will call a timeout. They'll have 1 left, or no, will they not to call a timeout? The clock's running. A little surprised Iowa State on 4th down defensively. Why wouldn't you call a timeout? You've got 2. Why are you letting the clock run if you're Matt Campbell here?
We saw Matt Campbell aggressive earlier with his timeouts. Guess he feels like Kansas State can have a good chance to pin them back inside their own 10. He's not going to be aggressive to close out the half.
But what happens because of the wet weather? You have a bad snap. The punter maybe drops the ball. I understand you're concerned about fumbling it yourself. A little surprised that they did not use a timeout there. All right, coming up at 3:30 Eastern over on ABC, the Little League United States Championship. Fairfield, Connecticut, Summerlin, South Nevada. The winner of that game will play for the Little League World Series title Sunday, 3 o'clock Eastern on ABC. So 9 seconds to go. Simon McClanahan will punt. But imagine Matt Campbell is told the return man, Aiden Flora, don't touch the ball.
Stay away.
Just get away from it.
Stay away.
But again, you could have a bad snap. You could have an issue with the punt if you're Kansas State, and then you got a loose ball and there's no time on the clock for Iowa State to do anything with it if they recover. And wow, a little surprised that inside the 5 you'd even take the risk. That really does not make sense. Flora did a nice job to secure it, but a little curious here some of the decisions made in the final minute.
Very surprised he caught that football, Dave. Usually heels at the 10. No, don't typically see, especially in these conditions in this weather, ball fielded inside the 5.
I mean, the reason you did not call timeout was basically to say we're good just going to halftime.
Right.
So why even risk a mistake? Especially when you look at the offense so far, and it's been a struggle for both teams.
I think that's why Matt Campbell elects to take it into half. I think that's kind of the thought process here. He was going to be aggressive earlier when he had them backed up. When they converted on 3rd down, made more sense just to take it to half, tied 7 apiece.
Kansas State will get the ball to start the second half. And let's check in with Taylor and Chris Kleiman.
Thank you, Coach. What is the status of Dylan Edwards?
He's out for the rest of the game, yeah.
How will you address the sloppiness we've seen on offense at the half?
I'd say I'd credit it to pretty good defenses on both sides. Both teams got it down in the red zone and created a turnover. And let's be honest, the field conditions are sloppy. It's wet out here. And let's maybe give some credit to the defense. These are 2 really good defenses.
Thank you, Coach. Dave?
All right, Taylor, 7-7 game at halftime in the college football opener 2025. We send you to the studio. It's the Lexus Halftime Report with Kevin Connors, E.J. Manuel, and Roddy Jones. Welcome back to the Aer Lingus College Football Classic, the 4th edition and first time for 2 teams from the Big 12. And you're watching the Big 12 on ESPN. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor here in Dublin, Ireland to kick off the 2025 college football season. And Dusty, maybe it's not surprising with college kids traveling 4,000 miles. They got here just a couple days ago trying to get used to the time change, that it was really sloppy in the first half.
Yeah, it was sloppy. You know, 4 turnovers in total, 2 lost fumbles by each team. But there was also some field conditions with some weather coming in, slick football, and the defense on each side that I thought really stepped up and played well. But a lot of contributing factors. Dylan Edwards muffs that opening punt, lost him for the entirety of the game. Abu Sama puts it on the ground from the 1-yard line. Really good timed up blitz there by Quay Moss as he gets home. The forced fumble by Surgis coming downhill. A couple of good stuff we did see. How about this? The touchdown toss from Rocco Beck. It's Dominic Overby. If I'm even, I'm leaving. The speedster was a great route, freezes the safety. And then speaking of freezing, Avery Johnson catches the defensive end, taking too many shuffles inside. He gets to the perimeter, and your 2 scores for the Cyclones and Wildcats there in that first half.
K-State was able to run the ball, 94 yards, just 60 passing. Dylan Edwards, as Chris Klieman told Taylor McGregor at the end of the first half, done for the day, was hurt on that muff punt. Iowa State just 23 rushing yards in the first half. Kansas State will get the ball to start the second half. And from the goal line is Bryce Nornberg. And he gets to about the 19, and that's it. Here's Taylor.
Matt Campbell told me they would love to run the football more. They had just 23 yards on the ground in the first half, but he said we also have to be prepared to take what the defense gives us. And to the sloppiness of the offense, he said we have to be better when it comes to protection. We were not up to par there. He did give credit to the defense, just like Coach Klieman did, and he said they just showed us some different looks that we were prepared for, so we have to be able to make adjustments.
Yeah, 3 sacks surrendered by the offensive line for Iowa State. This is a conference game. Will count towards the standings. It could end up being the most impactful game of the Big 12 all year, and it's not even week 1. Shy of the 20-yard line, and a pass play. Johnson has it tipped at the line for the 2nd time. Ezeagu got a hand on that one. 2nd down.
That's just good timing here by the defensive end. Ezeagu is going to work off the edge. And as this pass comes, he's going to get his hand up. Really good timing. Got that big wingspan. Shut your rush down. Know that pass is coming out. Try to get in the throwing lane. Very well done, as you said, Mr. Pasch, for the 2nd time here for Ezeagu.
Gained about 15 pounds of muscle. A little bit easier to get off those blocks with improved strength. Get his hand up. Johnson keeping it. We'll see if they run him more here in the second half. He had a rushing touchdown for K-State's only score in the first half. Knocked out of bounds by Jontez Williams after a gain of 6.
When you see the speed, whenever Avery Johnson gets to the perimeter, there's potentially maybe a little bit of a hold there on Willick, but Johnson able to get to the edge and a nice pickup on 2nd down. Pretty good on that last possession before halftime. He converted on multiple 3rd downs, throwing the ball. Trouble with communication here. He's looking over the side. He can't hear what the call is.
And inside 15 seconds, too, that communication device between the offensive coordinator and quarterback shuts off. And it was at about 12 when they had the issue. The pass is caught, but well short of the line to gain. Jontez Williams right there as well. Will Ancio caught it at the 28, 4th down.
Really nice tackle there. Catch tackle on the perimeter. Ball comes out quick, and Iowa State, a really nice job getting a stop on this opening possession.
Simon McClannon, 2nd-year punter, and Aiden Flora, who had a fumble recovery on the muff punt in the first half, is the return man. It's a wobbly line drive and almost hit Flora. Did not, though, and scoots out of bounds. Iowa State will have it around the 42. Here are just some of the Labor Day weekend games starting Thursday on ESPN. Boise State, a playoff team last year, taking on USF. Nebraska, Cincinnati. Colorado hosts Georgia Tech Friday. Great slate of games Saturday, culminating in a top 10 matchup between LSU and Clemson. And the all-new ESPN app, you can watch all these games as well.
So many intriguing matchups. What's Florida State going to be this year? You know, that was just wild to see last season, a 2-win team for Mike Norvell. Got that stadium renovated. They're going to be there with a hungry crowd. A team that was here in the opener in Dublin last year, lost that first game. And I think an Alabama team, in my opinion, going to be one of the best in college football. That's a fascinating game in Tallahassee next Saturday.
Pass play on first down. Beck looking deep, taking a shot, and it's incomplete. It was intended for Chase Sowell. His first target broken up by Zayshawn Rich. You mentioned Florida State playing in this game last year. And I'm not saying that's why they went 2-10. But the coaches are definitely concerned because teams that have played here, won or lost, are about 15 games under 500. There is concern from both coaches that it may take a month or so to really fully adjust once they get back.
That's what I found fascinating, talking with both Chris Klieman and Matt Campbell. Not necessarily this game and the impact the travel would have, but the next 3 to 4 weeks, the impact it's going to have in the preparation to make sure it doesn't negatively impact the season.
Back in trouble and sacked again. Boy, having a day. Toby Osunsami. He's got 2 sacks in this one.
Osunsami has been oh so great all throughout the course of the day. This is called a TE stunt. Tackle first, end's going to come second, and they run it to perfection. Just a 2-man game. That tackle gets up the field. He's going to keep that guard, pick off that tackle, and you see the end come underneath, and another sack, 4th on the day for this Wildcats defense.
4 sacks and 6 completions. That's it for Iowa State. 3rd and 21. Beck in trouble again. And he's going to keep it himself here and get to the 40 before he's run out of play. Got 9 yards back, but it will be a 3-and-out for Iowa State. Quay Moss on the chase out.
Good job there by Rocco, just evading that initial pressure. I thought he may take a shot. Looked like he might have had Overby down the field with a step on the defender. He elects to keep it in his arms and go out of bounds. And a nice stop there to kick off this second half for the Wildcats. They matched that stop by the Cyclones on each of the first 2 possessions.
Sterling Lockett replacing the injured Dylan Edwards as the punt returner. Standing back at his 15-yard line. Good punt by Perkins. Perfect hang time. And the fair catch made at the 15. A penalty flag down late. Thrown at about the 25-yard line as you look at the Temple Bar area where many a pint has been consumed. Of course, by nobody on the crew here in the last 5 days.
I saw you in that Temple Bar area. Had the music playing. Was that you with your shirt off down there, Dave?
Let's not talk about that.
There's no foul on the play. Timeout on the field.
I thought.
Although you do have a picture, I'm sure, to be able to hold against me
I do.
for the rest of my.
Oh,
that
yes,
is not
I do.
It's not a true story. Don't go on Twitter and start talking about it. The Emerald Isle boasts some of the most prestigious and challenging golf courses in the world, attracting golfers from all over to experience its unique landscapes and designs. 6 courses in Ireland are ranked in the top 100 of the world. Royal Portrush, home of this year's Open Championship, won by Scotty Scheffler among them.
Scotty Scheffler's been on a heater. Golly, been incredible.
Ireland is a country smaller than both the states of Iowa and Kansas as Joe Jackson gets the carry. Picks up about a yard with Caleb Bacon on the tackle. And actually, Ireland has more farms, despite being smaller than both Kansas and Iowa.
Look at you. You did your research for this one. Well done. Been holding on to that one for a while.
Well, also,
well done by you.
Here's another note for you. Look at the roof there of the stadium, how it undulates.
Oh, yeah.
The reason it's not flat is there are some houses to our left behind the end zone. You can see it there where all the stands are. Why the stands are so short. There's only a few behind the goalpost. As we've got a run play here from Joe Jackson. He close to a first down, and he did get the first down. Let me just finish that story real quick. The reason why the roof dips on that side there, you can see it on the right side of your screen, why it dips, is because the people that have those houses, while it was being built, complained because they said it was blocking the sun. Now, in the U.S., probably people would just say, sorry,
too bad. Number one.
But here in Europe, they say, sure, we'll accommodate you, and they changed the roof line.
Well, it's added to an awesome stadium and feel here inside of Aviva Stadium. And the power of the locals is very real here, Mr. Peck.
Johnson looking, everybody covered. Now a receiver comes free. And it's Jaron Bradley on the catch. With his second target.
The protection and the time, so good there by Kansas State. Avery Johnson had all day to be able to sit back there, survey the landscape of the field, and allow Bradley to come open.
Another pass play and another catch. Jace Brown wrapped up and thrown down about a yard short of the line to gain by Trey Bell.
That's really well done by Jace Brown. Climbs the ladder, good strong hands, go up and high point that football. And a really nice season a year ago. Could have easily been a 1,000-yard receiver, over 800 yards, typically a vertical threat. We've seen him today as a runner. The biggest play in that first half, a 33-yard run, but a nice grab there on first.
Avery Johnson finds another open tight end. And it's Braden Lofton this time. Johnson's in a groove. Now, gain of 17.
He really is, and that's very well done. Little play action pass, zone coverage on the back end. Lofton finding open space and pass delivered on time and on target. Kansas State on the move quickly.
3 of 3 for Johnson on this drive. Junior quarterback, 20 years old. Now out of empty here with the shift of Joe Jackson to the top of your screen. Design quarterback run. No room for Avery Johnson. Grab to the ankles. Dominique Orange and Carson Willick there defensively.
Boy, big citrus inside. Watch this man. Watch him work. He's going to fight back across. Do a really good job continuing to get up the field and create that play. Big man, all 325 pounds. The centerpiece of that Iowa State defensive line.
Here's the end around pitch to Jace Brown, and Iowa State was not fooled. Tackle made by Jeremiah Cooper. Jace Brown really had the only explosive play for Kansas State in the first half, running the ball, so they tried to get him out in space there.
What Carson Van Dinter did an excellent job coming downhill, that initial contact. Cooper finished it off, but good team defense there by Iowa State, not allowing Jace Brown to get to the perimeter. Now 3rd and long. I'd like to see John Haycock heat up Avery Johnson, bring a little pressure.
Johnson throws complete, and an excellent open field tackle. The helmet came off for Marcus Neal, but even if he has to sit out, it's 4th down. It was Oakley on the catch. It'll be about a 50-yard field goal try from here.
I think they had to go.
4th and 8?
Yeah, I think they got to go. I think they were hoping. That's a really good open field tackle by Marcus Neal. I think they were hopeful that Oakley would be able to break that tackle, get a few more yards, but too far for Rodriguez, and big 4th down here early in this second half. Tibbs up top.
ESPN analytics say kick, but obviously you have the weather, the chewed up field. You can barely see the chalk marks. Johnson directing traffic on the move, and the pass is incomplete through the hands of Bradley. He could have caught that, and it would have been a 1st down. Could not hang on. Drew Surgis in coverage.
Well, Avery Johnson did a nice job rolling to his left. He buys himself some time, bought Bradley all kinds of time. The coverage was good. Bradley comes open late, pass on time, on target, but a big drop on 4th down. The Clones get the stop.
For a better setting.
When you think Lee Corso, you think college football. Like Dick Vitale, what he means for college basketball, Lee Corso, same thing. When you think of ESPN and its genesis, Lee Corso, a big part of not just game day, but how about calling the first game in Ireland back in 1988 with Roger Twybull? They watched Mike Sanders' 53-yard touchdown run and a Boston College 38-24 win. Looks just as good here in 2025. Well done. What a career for the great Lee Corso. College game day, his finale next weekend with Sama picking up 2 or 3 on first down.
It's pretty quite remarkable, Dave, the impact Lee Corso has had on so many college football fans and the sport in general. He has helped elevate this sport. As a kid growing up, going and watching College game day to see who Corso's was, which headgear he's going to put on, and watching him and Herbie since I was a kid up at the college, and it's been incredible. One of one, true legend of college football, one of the all-time greats to ever do it anywhere, and we say farewell to him next week.
Should be a great scene in Columbus. Texas #1 in the country for the first time ever. Back sidearms that complete, and Xavier Townsend has a first down to the 45. Townsend's first catch as a Cyclone, a transfer from UCF. Check that, Eli Green on the catch. Skip all that.
The concentration by Eli Green. Kansas State brought him pressure. Rocco Becht held firm in the pocket, and he found his target.
From the 45-yard line. Becht now with 7 completions, 88 yards. Abu Sama off left tackle. Squeezes through a hole for minimal gain. Austin Romaine on the takedown, the leading tackler last year and second-team All-Big 12 performer for Kansas State.
Rocco Becht was nails on that touchdown drive, Dave. 3 for 3, was flawless. Outside of that, the struggles have been real. Not all on him. There's been a couple of drops, some routes that weren't run quite clean because of the surface, but this passing game, they've had their struggles outside of that 1 touchdown drive.
Play action. Becht in trouble. Steps away from pressure and takes off. Pass midfield. And then goes to the ground at about the 48-yard line. So it will bring up 3rd down.
Boy, Purnell so good coming on the pressure. How many times have we seen this today? Rocco, little jab step in, move to his left. He has made something out of nothing time and time again. Had that sack written all over it. Now you're 3rd and very manageable here with 4 yards to go.
Well, one of the reasons Rocco Becht's teammates love him is he's as tough as anybody on the team. And a big reason why the Cyclones won 11 games, went to the Big 12 championship last year.
His offensive line, give him some time.
The play clock was winding down, and so Matt Campbell, trying to avoid the 5-yard penalty, wisely calls a timeout. Pick Taylor McGregor back in Dublin, Ireland. Game tied at 7 apiece. The all-new ESPN app is here, and for the best experience, all you need to do is follow these 3 simple steps.
First, you'll need the ESPN app on your connected TV or favorite device. If you have it, open it up. If you don't, download it now. Next, click on the live event or ESPN show you want to watch. Then choose your TV provider and log in. You're all set. It's all of ESPN, all in one place. Go to support.espn.com to learn more.
And just in time for the start of the college football season. Week 0 here at the 47,000-seat Aviva Stadium in Dublin. A Big 12 game that could have major ramifications on who goes to the college football playoff. Abu Sama on 3rd and 4 comes up short. Iowa State looks like it will go for it on 4th down again.
And we saw them in a similar spot, and we saw the ball kept with Rocco Becht. I'd expect the exact same here, Dave. They love to run their quarterback on 4th, 3rd, and short situations. I think this is no different right here. You get that +1, that added blocker, and we know Rocco, a talented runner with the ball.
Going back to that toughness that Becht has. Not afraid to run between the tackles.
4 tight ends on your right.
Play clock is down to 3. Backed on the option, keeps and gets the first down.
So they go tight into the field. They're going to run this to the boundary. They play off of VJ Payne so well. Watch Rocco Becht run this option. He waits on VJ Payne. He's trying to feather it. He gets one step outside. Rocco puts his foot and gets downhill and moves the chains for a big first down.
Rocco's parents, including Anthony Becht, former first-round pick of the Jets, spent more than a decade playing for multiple teams in the NFL. Now live in the Tampa area. Abu Sama on the cutback, finds some running room. Remember 2 years ago, he tore up Kansas State for 276 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Like the patience on that run, allow those blocks to set up. Took a while, and then finally, as that hole started to open up, got north and south and a really quality pickup on first down. We haven't seen a lot of quality running with the running backs throughout the course of this game. Well done on first.
And it's interesting, Abu Sama has been the bell cow. He's got double the carries of Carson Hansen so far in this game. Hansen had most of those carries early on. Iowa State on the move. Sama again, and he picks up the first down, getting the edge off the right side down to the 28-yard line for 7 more yards.
Good block to right tackle. Tyler Miller got just enough of Jordan Allen to allow Sama to get to that perimeter, get to that edge. All of a sudden now, Iowa State really starting to put together a nice drive.
Only had 1 field goal attempt, and that was by Iowa State, and it was missed from 49 yards. Slippery field throughout the day because of rain throughout the day here in Dublin. Direct snap to Sama, runs straight ahead, gets upended at the 25-yard line by Obi Izor.
Full backside guard, bring Burkle, the tight end in front. Really just a direct snap counter to Sama. Shows that good patience once again. Wasn't much there initially, but after about a 2 count, we're seeing this Iowa State offensive line on this drive get more movement, a little more push than we've seen throughout the course of this ball game.
10th play of the drive, only 1 pass play. Maybe 2 as Becht throws it towards the goal line. It was caught, but incomplete. Out of bounds was Burkle, but what a catch as he hit the pylon. The ball arrived.
Well, this was close, Dave. What concentration here by Burkle. Let's watch his foot. Where's the foot at? Foot's in.
Oh, he's in.
But he bobbled it, so
I don't know.
By the time, yeah, it's incomplete. His foot's in. He didn't catch it. He's got to catch it clean here with his foot in.
I'm looking at the right foot.
And now he bobbled.
Yep. Didn't have it at the end.
Right.
Didn't secure it all the way through the catch. I was looking at that right foot, which was in bounds, but would have been a heck of a play. Now it's 3rd and 7. Back, hoisted deep into the end zone. Caught in bounds. Touchdown, Brett Eskilsson. And Iowa State has the lead. Little Conor McGregor celebration afterwards for the sophomore from Frisco, Texas. Conradi on for the extra point. What a drive by Rocco Becht. Seven Cyclones late in the 3rd. First 3rd down pass completion of the game for Becht, and it's a score.
Well, protection's been a problem all game, and they're going to dial it up. Klanderman's going to bring another pressure. Watch the offensive line go to work here. They're going to set up a good, clean pocket, pick up that pressure, allow the time. Now, what happens down the field? Eskilsson with a picture-perfect route. Watch the route. He's going to freeze the corner. Corner's going to freeze, and he's going to come wide open, and another dime delivered by Rocco Becht. The route freezes that corner. McIntosh, he gets flat-footed. He bites on that initial slant, and then as soon as Eskilsson clears him, ball delivered perfectly. Good concentration through the catch, and the Cyclones back on the board here in the 2nd half.
Loving it in Ames. Some 4,000 miles from where we are here in Dublin, Ireland. First touchdown for Brett Eskilsson in his young career. He's wearing Jaden Higgins number 9. Higgins was a star with Iowa State. Both he and Jalen Knoll drafted in the 2nd and 3rd rounds of this past draft by the Houston Texans. So Iowa State trying to replace 2 legends. And Eskilsson just gave his team its first lead since the opening quarter. This will be a touchback, so let's hear from Taylor McGregor down on the field.
Well, if you're just turning into this game and you're wondering why you can barely see the lines on this field, it's because it's been raining on and off all evening. It was so bad on the sideline going into the half that both teams requested that the lines were repainted on the field. So this was them at the half painting the lines back on so you could see the end zone and you could better see both sidelines.
But still, Taylor, even with that, it's really hard to see most of the field, especially near midfield. Now the hash marks are almost invisible. We'll see what kind of a challenge that is down the stretch for these 2 teams. Kansas State starts on its 25. And Joe Jackson replacing the injured Dylan Edwards, hand fighting on the sideline, wrestled to the ground after a pickup of 2 by Carson Van Dinter, a walk-on. There's a flag down in the backfield.
It's going to be a hold on Kansas State here, Dave. And from way in the back.
Holding, number 83, offense, 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's the 5th penalty on Kansas State, just 1 on Iowa State, and that is no surprise. Iowa State led the country in fewest penalty yards a year ago, and that will back up the Wildcats to their 15-yard line.
Yeah, Iowa State, you see right here, kind of gets around the Iowa State defender, Bo Goodwin. I think that's the right call by the back judge.
Johnson, nice catch made by Jace Brown. He picks up about 17. That pass a little behind the receiver, but Brown, a big play guy, able to get closer to the line to gain.
Boy, middle of the field open for Jace Brown, and good tackle in the open field. Jace Brown is electric. Great vertical speed, a walking big play. He had 25 catches of 20 or more yards a year ago, and a nice play on 1st and 20.
Perhaps the final play of the quarter. Play action pass. Johnson setting up, climbing the pocket, and a wide open tight end Oakley into Iowa State territory. Tackled at the 44-yard line.
This is the end of the 3rd quarter.
For a gain of 22, and Kansas State will start the 4th quarter in Iowa State territory, trailing the Cyclones by 7. The Big 12 opener. The college football season opener here in Dublin, Ireland. 3 in the books, 1 quarter to go.
Coach, your offense has some rhythm. What will it take for them to get into the end zone?
Well, we need to finish this drive. We're moving the ball, and then we're kind of having some self-inflicted wounds, which you can't have against a really good football team. So we got to remain calm and get a good drive here and see if we can get this thing tied up. And then, you know, Rocco Beck's a hell of a football player, and we've got to do some good jobs in coverage because we're stopping the run, but we're just struggling against some of their big receivers.
Thank you, Coach. Dave?
Well, Taylor, last year, 4 fourth-quarter comeback wins for Kansas State, 2nd most behind Illinois. Avery Johnson, 7 for his last night. Going downtown for Jace Brown. Incomplete. Brown could not hang on. Tayshaun James in coverage in the end zone.
Boy, how about this by Tayshaun James? He's bigger safety running with the speedster Brown. Stays stride for stride, no interference, gets that left hand up, right in the way, a little deflection on the pass. That's extremely, extremely well done by the Oklahoma City product, Tayshaun James.
Has a fumble recovery in this game as well. Another pass play. Johnson hits Jerron Tibbs, fighting for yardage. And finally blow it dead after a pickup of 7.
Big 3rd down coming up here for Kansas State. You heard Chris Kleiman say we've had good drives. They've just kind of sputtered and stalled out. Kansas State needs this one to not stall out and match what Rocco Beck and that Cyclone offense was able to do. I like keeping the ball in Avery Johnson's hands. I'd like to see him as a runner a little bit. He's been better as a passer, but boy is electric as a runner.
Pumps, looks deep, got a receiver. Chase Brown walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas State. Point after away from tying the game after the 37-yard touchdown pass for Avery Johnson, his first of 2025 after a school record 25 touchdown passes a year ago. And Dusty, you mentioned Chase Brown is a big play receiver, among the best in the country at that. The extra point is good, and we are tied.
And he's an excellent route runner as well, Dave. You're going to see the double move to perfection. Van Dinner is going to get caught up. He's going to stutter here, and it's going to be like stealing. Avery Johnson hits him with the pump. Safety bites, and it's a walk-in touchdown. We are tied here in Dublin. It feels like Armageddon with this rivalry. Who's going to win it down the stretch? Manhattan like what they're seeing right now.
Immerse yourself in the vibrant culture of Ireland, where traditional music, dance, and storytelling come alive. Explore ancient ruins, visit museums and galleries showcasing Ireland's rich history and heritage, and savor the flavors of authentic Irish cuisine. Just a beautiful country. We've had a great week here in Dublin, and like last year's nail-biter between Georgia Tech and Florida State, a close game here in the fourth quarter between Big 12 rivals Iowa State and Kansas State. The Wildcats just tied it up now, kicking deep to Flora. He'll field it on his 6-yard line. And Flora has some room straight ahead, but then gets planted at the 26-yard line. Well, Kansas State has a new play caller this year in former Texas Tech head coach Matt Wells. He's on the staff second year, but first year calling plays. You see him to the right there of Avery Johnson on the bench.
Coach Wells is awesome, and I know he's been very excited about this opportunity. He hasn't called plays since he was at Utah State as the head coach before he hired Josh Heupel to come in as his offensive coordinator. He had some excitement, some giddiness, but he even told me that it's different to be on the headset and game planning all week than being in there making the calls in the game. His first time back making the calls. What a big time call that was for the touchdown pass.
Ball on the ground again. Beck picks it up cleanly and fires complete. Well done to Eli Green. Let's check in with Taylor McGregor.
And I can tell you, Matt Wells and Avery Johnson have been communicating the entire game, sitting side by side the entire game, just like we're seeing right now. And you can see a note card that Matt Wells has. It says notes of the game, and after every series they'll go over things that Johnson did like, he didn't like, and just before that last series he told Chase Brown they were coming for him.
Meanwhile, the play calling for Iowa State by Taylor Mauser, second-year offensive coordinator, pretty good on this drive. Big play on the ground for Carson Hansen near midfield.
Great report there, Taylor, and I love that shot of that card. But to your point, Dave, Taylor Mauser's taking no back seat whatsoever. We haven't seen or heard from Carson Hansen in a while. What a nice, explosive run that was.
Beck's off play action, and the pass should have been picked off. It is dropped at the 25-yard line by Donovan McIntosh. It's been a game filled with turnovers, and there should have been another one there.
Well, Rocco Beck, thankful for that drop by McIntosh, because a gift almost delivered. McIntosh, eyes on the quarterback. This ball thrown right to him as he works back to the football, just unable to come up with the interception.
I wonder if that's on the receivers, Dusty. You got a lot of guys who have not played before for Iowa State at that position. First game of the year, obviously. Carson Hansen with room, and he's got a first down inside the 40-yard line to the 36. Hansen starting to heat up. 15 yards on the ground.
How about Jim Boniface, the center? Watch him get up to the second level. Watch him work up. Really does a nice job opening up this hole. Works through the nose tackle. And a good cutback there by Carson Hansen. And I give Jim Boniface a lot of credit. Back in 2023, started every game as a center. Was a backup last year. Now getting another opportunity to start. And a good job opening that hole and another first down run.
Hansen up the gut one more time. 8 more yards for a player that Matt Campbell told us is poised for a breakout year. This after scoring 13 touchdowns a year ago for Iowa State.
Well, I love what I'm seeing for this offensive line. Really good job inside, some combo blocks. Saw the right guard, Brendan Black, pull around. The second half, we've seen Iowa State more committed to running the football. It's paying dividends on this drive.
It was Sama in the third quarter. It's Hansen in the fourth quarter. We did not see much of Hansen since the first period. But on a roll right now, picking up another first down for Iowa State on the ground. They're starting to lean on that K-State defense. A gain of 7. They'll move the sticks down to the 21 early in the fourth in a tie game.
Just so much movement on the right side. It's Brendan Black. How about the redshirt freshman Cooper Alexander getting those tight ends involved? He's getting good push. Just mushing that front of Kansas State.
Beck from the pocket. Everybody covered. He takes off. And then throws it away before he stepped out of bounds, which would have been a loss of about 10 had he done that. So smart there to get rid of it before he stepped out. Pressure from Travis Bates of K-State.
Well, we went from having not much offense, all about the defense, these last 3 drives. 2 in a row for Iowa State, moving the football well with regularity. Kansas State off their touchdown drive. Maybe as this game's gone on, the opener offense is starting to get a little bit better feel for the conditions, the field, and starting to click here in the fourth.
Still overcast, but no rain right now. Abu Sama with blockers in front, inside the 30 and banged out a play at about the 27-yard line by true freshman Logan Bartley. Third down coming up.
That's a big third down, as Iowa State has had their struggles, just 2 of 10 throughout the course of this ball game. As we've seen Kansas State dial up quite a few pressures here on third down. And they protect and give Rocco the time that he needs. There's the pressure coming. Romaine showing blitz. Check. Protection. Does Kansas State call it off? Oh, they're coming.
It's picked up, though. Beck throws through the hands of Sowell. It would have been likely a first down. It was at the 10-yard line. Instead, the ball hits the dirt, and here comes the field goal team to try to give Iowa State the lead.
Sowell was really talked about, the East Carolina transfer. He comes out of that break, he's wide open. He just never really had good footing, Dave. You expect him to be able to come down with that catch. He's open, ball delivered in his vicinity, unable to bring it in.
A 34-yard field goal try. Kyle Conrarty. And Iowa State has the lead back. Conrarty missed a 49-yarder in the first half, but is good here from 34. The Cyclones with 10 minutes to go. Lead in Dublin by 3. Ireland, just an absolutely gorgeous country. We are in Dublin on the east coast of the Isle. And we're at Aviva Stadium, which used to be the Lansdowne Rugby grounds, the oldest in the world. Kansas State this year, or last year rather, with 4 wins after trailing in the fourth. Only Illinois had more with 5, and the Wildcats down 3. They have a new field goal kicker this year as well, who has yet to attempt a field goal in this game. Chase T. Gilbert will kick it deep to Bryce Nornberg. College football opener, Big 12 opener. Nornberg across the 10 and goes high in the air before he is upended at the 21-yard line by Caden Cook. You want hard hits? How about the Street Profits, the WWE Triple Crown Tag Team Champions? They wrestled in Dublin on SmackDown last night. And our first WWE event on ESPN Unlimited is WrestlePalooza, Saturday, September 20th. When you were done in the NFL, wasn't that a potential career move for you?
It was talked about. Jim Ross, a good friend of mine, he was still very involved in the WWE, but I wanted one day to aspire to work with Dave Pasch. And here we are.
Pass is a little behind Jace Brown, and he could not make the catch. Jamison Patton there to help out by knocking the ball loose.
They made me cut my hair to work with you. I could have kept the long mane in the WWE.
I mean, Avery Johnson would certainly be appreciative of you kept the long blonde hair.
When we met with him yesterday, I think both you and I, we had hair envy of what Avery Johnson had going on.
Well, I had none. Yours used to look like his. Johnson 18 of 27, a touchdown. He also has a rushing score. He'll keep it. Cuts upfield. There's a flag down. Johnson is loose. First down, but looks like it's going to be holding, thrown at the feet of an offensive lineman.
It's going to be John Pastore.
Holding, number 78, offense. 10-yard penalty, second down.
And Chris Kleiman is, you read lips, does not like the call.
Pastore here going to be working on the outside. Take a good look. That left hand a little bit outside. Did he get a hold? They go to the ground. I didn't think it was egregious, but given the way the defensive lineman kind of got hurled to the ground, it's going to draw the flag.
Sixth penalty on Kansas State. Still one on Iowa State. Now it's 2nd and 20 from the K-State 11-yard line. Stepping up and throwing complete. Close to a first down, a couple of yards short is Jerron Tibbs. Third down and about 3 after a gain of 18.
I really like the poise and composure. Watch Avery Johnson work. He's got a defender barreling down on him. He's cool, calm, eyes down the field. And he finds his big target, Jerron Tibbs, for a nice pickup on 2nd down.
The man who made the tackle is injured, Cale Brazina, and he missed 6 games a year ago. Iowa State had all kinds of injuries at linebacker last year. A huge development with a new rule this year in college football. If the ball is spotted and then a player on the defense is injured, it's a timeout. And now Iowa State is down to 1 timeout because of that. If that happens and there are no timeouts, it's a 5-yard penalty that was put in place to keep people from faking injuries. And on the 3rd down pass, it's caught by Oakley, but well short of the first down by Willick, bringing up 4th down from the K-State 30-yard line, and the offense is staying out there.
Well, this is surprising. This is very surprising here. I would have thought that if you don't get it there, punt team's on the field, you're on your own 29-yard line, and Chris Kleiman isn't blinking. Wow.
See if they try to draw Iowa State offside and not snap it. Avery Johnson's an excellent runner. They do snap it to him. He will keep it. And it is close. He got drilled right at the line to gain by Jamison Patton. Iowa State is signaling that it's Cyclones' ball. They got to put the ball down first.
Well, he got a rough spot. That's short. Spot short.
It's a turnover on downs, and Iowa State takes over at the K-State 30.
Wow, what a call by Chris Kleiman. They're going quarterback sweep. And as you mentioned, Avery Johnson, he gets just walloped. Absolutely belted. And the mark short of the line to gain. Take a look at this. Just quarterback sweep, pull front side, guard and tackle. Tough to tell from that angle.
Boy, I agree with you on the spot. I thought he was a little further upfield.
He fell forward.
Although it's where the ball is, not his body.
Boy, I'm going to tell you what, Jamison Patton comes up and lowers the boom. Ooh,
Matt Austin, our rules expert. Matt, I don't know if you had a different look at it. Your thoughts on whether this was the right call on the field?
Well, I think replay has actually stopped the game to review the spot. although I haven't really seen a view of theirs which would lead me to overturn the call. But it looks like they are going to take a look at it. It's extremely close, and unless you've got a shot right down the line, it's extremely difficult to make a ruling that other than what was on the field.
Matt, while we have you, I want to go back to the call against Iowa State that cost them the timeout. I know that's put in place, that new rule to keep players from faking injuries. You got to live with that, right? Because it looked like Cale Brazina really was injured on that play.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was very unfortunate that he actually was hurt, and it was very, very close. Replay was taking a look at it. It is reviewable. Replay can decide if the ball was down before he went to the ground. He was definitely limping before that. If an official had seen that, I wouldn't have been surprised if they would have given the timeout back due to the fact that he was actually injured.
Yeah, good stuff, Matt. We'll see if that comes back to haunt Iowa State. Right now, they've got the ball.
That's right.
At K-State's third.
That'll be a rule we talk about all throughout the year in college football. It's the first time we've seen it play out, so we need to make sure we explain it. But right now, the question is this a first down? This is a game-changing play right now. It's either first down Kansas State or Iowa State's going to get the ball on the 30-yard line. You're not going to be able to tell from this side.
Well, the question also I have, Dusty, is was his ankle, his shin down, and that's why they spotted it where they did. Watch his shin, his right leg there, and his knee. I mean, you're looking at it, but you can't see the ball.
I know.
So
I just don't know if you're going to have indisputable evidence that's going to reverse this call. But that initial spot, it looked a little bit short. Did he make it all the way to 31?
After review, the ruling on the field is upheld. The runner was short of the line to gain. First down, Iowa State.
So gone are the terms of whether it stands or confirmed. It's just upheld now. And so I think because you could not see the ball, impossible to overturn that via replay.
Well, who am I to question Chris Klieman? He clearly came. He's been very aggressive all throughout the course of this ball game on fourth down. But, man, from your own 29, down 3.
He trusts his defense, clearly.
He trusts his defense, and he trusts his quarterback. They put the ball in Avery Johnson's hand, and that was just a great play by Jamison Patton, the safety, coming up and putting that lick on Avery Johnson.
Carson Hansen is the running back. Boy, he looks fresh. Did not see him much in the second and third quarters. They'll run him here. Grabbed at the line of scrimmage, but able to break that arm tackle and pick up a couple of yards.
Nate Powers coming downhill to make that play. What can Iowa State do with the big stop from their defense? Same as a turnover. Iowa State's defense getting their offense the ball back in prime real estate.
And you asked during one of the breaks, is this why we didn't see Carson Hansen to keep him fresh for the fourth quarter? Because right now they have not been able to tackle him, even if they hit him at the line of scrimmage. Back to throw, down the seam, it's caught by Bramer inside the 10. It'll be first and goal for Iowa State at the Kansas State 7.
Well, he's 6'7". He's such a big target. One of these multiple tight ends that Iowa State loves to use. He clears that second-level linebacker in zone coverage, and a strike from Rocco Becht.
Back to Hansen. And he's bottled up after a gain of 1.
Boy, just a really nice job. Go back to that pass. Here, watch Bramer. A nice job with the route. As soon as he clears those linebackers, bam, he's that big target, easy throw for Rocco Becht. Carson Hansen, it's been a difference here in this quarter. 6 carries, 48 yards, carrying the load for this offense. But Rocco Becht's had the hot hand. It's checked empty.
Becht will keep it himself inside the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, Iowa State. Score by the Cyclones after Kansas State gambled and went for it on fourth down inside their 30. The Cyclones take advantage, and we have our first 2-score lead here in Dublin. Conradi makes it 24-14. Iowa State, 6:38 to play.
Well, it started with the fourth down stop. Jamison Patton flying downhill to make a play on fourth down. Avery Johnson gonna run a quarterback sweep, and it's Patton. Boom! Comes down and gets the stop. And Roscoff, you're gonna see a great job here and right here by the right tackle, Tyler Miller. Run that fullback, H-back in motion. Your right tackle with a nice block getting up to the linebacker, Desmond Purnell. And it's Rocco Beck making a cut, finding the end zone, and giving Iowa State a 2-score lead here in Dublin.
And Anthony Beck, longtime NFL tight end, watching his son proudly, the junior quarterback, Wesley Chapel, Florida. Captain of this Iowa State team. Big 12 Freshman of the Year 2 years ago. Honorable mention all Big 12 last year. He's accounted for 3 scores. That one on the ground and 2 through the air. Plenty of time though for Kansas State. 6:38 on the clock, down 10, and they have an excellent quarterback and Avery Johnson. Nornberg on the short kickoff gets tripped up. That slowed him down, and he's tackled at the 35-yard line. Quentin Taylor Jr. got enough of the return man, and Avery Johnson will look to do what he did 4 times last year, get a come from behind win. Dave Pasch, Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor here in Dublin, along with Matt Austin, our rules expert, on the 10th ever game in Ireland, the first for the Big 12 and the first ever for ranked teams. North Carolina TCU will play here next year. They'll meet Monday night. ESPN, week from Monday. Bill Belichick's debut at North Carolina. Johnson off play action, moving left, throws it deep, got a man wide open. Wow, Jaron Bradley gets behind the defense and scores. Touchdown, Kansas State. What a response. One play later, the Wildcats are right back in it. And like Rocco Beck, Avery Johnson now with 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing score. Luis Rodriguez, first-year kicker for K-State, puts it through, and it's a 3-point game again.
Well, the redshirt freshman, Cummings Coleman, the staff told us he has been excellent, and we're going to see a lot of him. He's going to be playing the safety position. Go ahead and roll that, guys. Play the safety position. Now freeze it for me. Freeze it. Cummins looking down inside. Give me a different look. The safety was looking down inside. He's got to be over the top. He never gets over the top. Cummins right here. He's got to get over the top of this. His vision is down inside on Jace Brown, and nobody runs with the vertical from Bradley. Safety's got to get over the top here. His vision gets back inside to Jace Brown. Nobody over the top, and it's a walk-in touchdown for Kansas State.
Bradley spent last year at Boston College, was at Texas Tech for 3 years. And we expected big things from the big receiver today, but he had been quiet until that 65-yard touchdown. He had just 2 catches for 10 yards prior. And the fans in Manhattan know their team is right back in this one with 6:23 to go. Another short kickoff, and Flores got it. Past the 25, slips a tackle, past the 30, and dragged down at the 37-yard line by Wesley Fair.
What an answer from Kansas State. Wow. Just when it felt like Iowa State secures a 2-score lead, bam, quick strike. Kansas State, one of the more explosive offenses in college football last year, a huge explosive play. But Iowa State, they've been really moving the football well here in this second half, Dave. They've run the ball much more effectively They ran it for 23 yards in the first half, 90 here in the second half. They've leaned on that offensive line, Carson Hansen, Rocco Becht, and they've run the football very well.
And just think, we got a whole season to go. This is the first game. We got 4 more months of this. But what an opener here in Dublin. From the 37, Becht sideline pass pulled in by Burkle and hit out of play by B.J. Payne after a gain of 3.
These teams, it's always close when you put Iowa State and Kansas State on the football field. It don't matter if it's in Manhattan, it's in Ames, or it's across the pond in Dublin, Ireland.
13 one-score games since 2008. That's the most in college football. 109th consecutive meeting between these two schools. Run play. Hansen downhill. First down past midfield. Powers his way to the 49.
The right side of this offensive line is doing work, ladies and gentlemen. Absolute work. It's Tyler Mitter. It's Brendan Black. Watch the push here off the right side. Just watch the mash down. The movement on the double. Burkle getting just enough of that second level. And Dave, Carson Hansen looks like a different player here in this second half. He is running with a purpose. He is running with fresh legs. And his presence has been felt mightily in this final frame.
Masterful job by Matt Campbell and company, how they've used both their backs today, Hansen and Samu. Hansen again wrestled to the ground after a pickup of 2. Diving over the top that time was Gabe Powers. Inside 5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter in Ireland. The Big 12 champ. The last 5 years decided 5 different winners. Arizona State won it last year. There was a 4-way tie. ASU, Iowa State, BYU, Colorado, Iowa State, and Arizona State played in the Big 12 championship. The Sun Devils won. Iowa State trying to get back there. A win today would certainly go a long way to determine who plays on December 6th. Another sideline throw that's caught. It's Eskilsson, who's hurt earlier on the touchdown catch, but he's back on the field and makes the catch. Comes up just short, though. Third down.
Well, great to see Eskilsson back on the field. We hadn't really seen much of him since the touchdown catch earlier this half. Well, we've seen Rocco Becht's number called so many times, but really it's open playbook. The way Carson Hansen's running, or Rocco Becht. Taylor Mauser's going to keep this on the ground. Heavy set, 4 tight ends in the game.
Becht pulls it back, lobs it, caught. Burkle, first down inside the 25. What a call for Iowa State.
So much for keeping it on the ground. That's why Taylor Mauser is so good at what he does. He's going to fake, and then he's just going to sneak out. Great job by Rocco, selling the play action. Burkle sells it so well, stock blocks, sheds, releases, comes wide open, and a great find. What a play call by Taylor Mauser. That is trust in a veteran quarterback in that spot and executing to perfection.
Iowa State by 3, inside 3 to play. Ball on the 23 of Kansas State. Play clock down to 3. Hansen running to the right. And he gets mauled. Gabe Powers in there along with Cody Stufflebean, a team captain. Clock stopped at 2:39 as it appears Kansas State has called the timeout. That will leave the Wildcats with 2.
They got 2 and the 2-minute.
Right. Year 2 of that new rule in college football. In each half, get an extra stoppage like the NFL with a 2-minute warning. Well, the first half was all about turnovers. Each team with 2. We have not had a turnover here in the second half, and the offense has gotten better. The passing game has come alive for both teams. Had a lot more scoring here in the second quarter as well.
Exactly what we expected. And you're 100% right. The offenses have really found their footing, literally and figuratively. And it was all defense and some sloppy turnovers in the first half. And well, these offenses have really come to life, and it's just crazy. We're here week 0. The magnitude of this game, the rivalry aspect, the Big 12 implications aspect, everything, so much on the line. Here as we creep down under 3 minutes to go.
There's a ton of games in week 0 and week 1 that already impact who plays in the college football 12-team playoff. Miami, Notre Dame, LSU, Clemson, both on ABC. This one here today. Hansen running to the outside, dragged down for a loss on the play by Obi Izor. Will bring up a 4th down. Check that 3rd down. Excuse me, 3rd down and 10 here for Iowa State.
Got to go a little misdirection. Watch Obi Izor get up, set this edge, and not allow Carson Hansen to get outside. Really good job working off that block of Brennan Black. Work outside. Great effort to the football. A huge 3rd down coming up. Eskelson has been a target we've seen here throughout the course of today from Rocco Becht.
So we mentioned 5 different Big 12 champs the last 5 years. Obviously, Oklahoma and Texas are now in the SEC. Kansas State won it in 2022. Not pictured, Iowa State. They have not won a Big 12 championship. Matt Campbell's done as good a job as anybody in the country the last decade. They've been to the title game twice. They won 11 games last year, a program record, and they have a chance to beat their rival Kansas State for the 3rd straight year. But a huge 3rd down and 10 coming up with 2:32 to go on the K-State 23 in front of a sold-out Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland. Beck to the air, steps up, takes off. Beck makes a move, but he's planted about 4 yards short of a 1st down by V.J. Payne. 4th down. Iowa State has not sent the kicking team out there yet.
Timeout, final timeout taken right there. What a call here from Matt Campbell. 3 yards, you get a 1st down, you end the game. You can kick a field goal, potentially take a 6-point lead, and force Kansas State to have to go down and score a touchdown. My gut tells me he's going to kick the field goal here, but there's been no sign from where we're sitting that the field goal unit's going to go on.
Kyle Conradi, the kicker, has made a 34-yarder in this game.
They say in the game.
And we'll see if Matt Campbell does just that. Now, Conradi last year, 6 of his 7 misses were from 40+. He's pretty much a guarantee. Hard to say that about any college kicker, but he's as close to it as there is. It would be about a 34-yarder again here to make it a 6-point lead, but then you risk losing the game, obviously, with Kansas State needing a touchdown and an extra point then.
And it's a long 3 now. I mean, it's pretty much 4, and the offense coming out of the field. They're trusting Rocco Becht to get a 1st down. And if they can get these 3.5-ish yards, they'll secure, for the most part, a huge victory here in Dublin.
Right. The only other stoppage would be the 2-minute timeout. K-State out of timeouts. 4th down and 3. And Iowa State maybe just trying to draw Kansas State offside with a hard count, because now Matt Campbell calls a timeout.
And we'll see. Maybe he calls the timeout to see what they're in. They're going to come back out and keep their offense on the field.
Yeah.
But it also would not surprise me whatsoever. Well, we see Conradi go out there to try to make this field goal.
To your point, 1 play, 3 yards away, you essentially win the game. You kick the field goal, even if he makes it. Kansas State puts together a long drive. Even though they don't have timeouts, inside 2 minutes, you would get the clock to stop on 1st downs to reset the sticks. But Kansas State can go down and win the game on that last drive.
They don't know. Offense.
But you would kick it in this situation, right?
I would. I'm a little bit more conservative. I understand what they're looking at and what they're going through. And you got a veteran guy in Rocco Becht who started a lot of football games for you, and you feel better about putting the ball in his hands.
Look, the field has been chewed up. It was raining earlier, and that really impacted footing throughout. That could play into Matt Campbell's decision here to go for it on 4th and 3. Neither team has a timeout. K-State acting as if it's going to bring pressure, and here they come against Beck, who lobs it, caught. Hansen got the first down. Hansen still going, dives. He's down, but he got the ball across. Touchdown, Iowa State.
Trust your quarterback, trust your veteran team, and get it to your running back, Carson Hansen, who has been an absolute beast in this 4th quarter. There was no doubt in Matt Campbell's mind what he was going to do. Boy, it sure looked like when he stretched that ball over.
Yeah, let's keep an eye here. They're going to review this.
Where's the forearm? What a call by Taylor Mauser. Matt Campbell.
Ball
It's gonna be, that forearm might have slid on the ground before the ball crossed the plane, Dave.
Take a look at the opposite angle here. Now his forearm is down. The ball is short of the goal line. But at this point, that may actually help Iowa State in a way, I guess. I mean, if you either way, you're in good shape. You score, you're up 2 scores, but you have a chance.
I think they're in good shape.
Just take more time off the clock.
That's right.
Take the clock all the way down after the 2-minute timeout if you want.
After review, the runner's right forearm was on the ground prior to the ball breaking the plane of the goal line. The ball will be placed inside the 1-yard line. It's first down for Iowa State.
So if you're Kansas State here and Iowa State hands the ball off, do you let them score?
Yeah, I think
it's a 3-point game. A 3-point game, but you don't have any timeouts except the 2-minute timeout.
You don't, but
you trust your defense to get 3 straight stops.
There's going to be some time. I mean, if you start doing the math, 40 and 40, there'll be a little bit of time left once you got to 4th down. Had to make that decision. I mean, be just very close.
If you're going to do it, you would think you would do it here on first down.
Yeah, that's correct.
And if they don't, then you would assume that they're going to just play defense the rest of the series.
That's right.
Now, Matt Campbell's thinking about that too as they're trying to figure out how we handle this.
100%.
So back to a 3-point game. The clock is running because remember he was downed inbounds.
Yeah, they should not snap this.
Right. So the clock will go down to
2 minutes.
To the 2-minute timeout.
So now at this point, it'll be interesting to see, do they try to score after this 2-minute timeout?
Right, you can take a knee 3 times.
They can run the game out and the game's over 24-21.
So back with the conclusion. No timeouts left for Kansas State. Iowa State on the goal line, up 3. Kansas State cannot stop the clock. Iowa State on the goal line, up 3. They're 3 knees away from ending this game. You got a 40-second play clock, and they are in victory formation right now.
That's got to be the strategy, right? I mean, you take 3 knees, you walk out of here with a huge, huge opening game victory.
They fumbled the ball on the K-State 1 in the first quarter of the game and turned it over. That may have played a role in the decision here to just take a knee in the game.
Now Matt
rather
Campbell,
than try to punch it in and risk turning it over.
5 of 6 against Kansas State. Huge win for him. Just the job he's done with this program, man. Now in his 10th year, the level of consistency that he's had, the retention of his players, the retention of his staff, the culture that they have built and everyone there is bought into is awesome. Absolutely awesome. And this is a huge way to start the season. Iowa State's had some slow starts to seasons in recent years.
One more knee and the game is over. Well, Matt Campbell has turned down major college jobs even bigger than Iowa State. He's turned down NFL jobs to stay with the Cyclones. He's taken less money as a head coach so that his assistant could stay. Speaking to your point on retention with his great staff that he's put together in Ames, and he's less than a minute away from his 100th win as a head coach in his career, going back to his days in Toledo.
He has been awesome. He is a lot. Both these coaches, both these programs are a lot of what's right in college football, but what an outstanding victory. Great ball game all the way through. You knew it was going to be a fight till the end, and Iowa State going to take a happy flight home back to Ames, Iowa after this huge 24-21 win.
Will they meet again in December 6th in Arlington for the Big 12 championship game? It's very possible. Kansas State, according to ESPN Analytics, the favorite to win the conference, but Iowa State will take that mantle at least until the Week 1 games kick off after this huge win here in Dublin. And let's check in with Taylor down on the field.
Thank you. 4th and 3 with 2:26 to play. What gave you the confidence to go for it?
Well, our quarterback gives me a lot of confidence, and he's a great football player. It's a great call by our offensive coordinator. Great job by Gabe Burkle. He's one of our best players, and just great execution. You know, we work on that all camp, and a great opportunity to do that. It wasn't perfect all day long, but when we needed it the most, it was really good.
What was the difference for the offense in the second half?
Yeah, again, we just made some great adjustments. You know, we saw some things different in the first game, and the opportunity to make great adjustments and have the ability to do that. It's great to have a staff that we've been together for so long that we got the confidence we can make those adjustments.
What allowed Carson Hansen to really be a part of the game plan?
Well, I thought that O-line really did a great job in the second half. Our tight ends, O-line, thought they did a great job with execution, and man, Carson's a really great player. We're really proud of him.
3 straight now against Kansas State. What does that do for your program?
Well, I think those are great wins. Anytime you beat quality opponents, that's awesome. And we got a long way to go. It's game 1, and there's a lot of football left. And we're going to have to see if we're tough enough as a program and as a team to fly back home and get ready for a great South Dakota team next week.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you. Dave?
100 wins now, Taylor, for Matt Campbell in his head coaching career. 65 in Ames, the winningest coach in Iowa State history. They will celebrate tonight here in Dublin, but then got to get back to work as they fly home tomorrow to Iowa. Rocco Beck now with Taylor.
Thanks, Dave. Rocco, when your coach gave you the vote of confidence on 4th and 3, what was going through your mind?
Man, we called a great play. He gave me 2 plays, and he had me decide, so I decided with that one. And I knew we were going to have a chance to get it with them bringing 0, and so it ended up working.
But why did you go with that specific play?
Because we've worked out in practice, and it's been working for us, and I felt more confident with it, and I had trust in my guys.
For you personally, what does 3 straight against Kansas State mean?
It means it's awesome. I mean, to have 3 straight against a rival team, against a great team in Kansas State, we just got to keep pushing. We got to be better than today, and so we'll be better next week.
Your offense really showed up big in the second half. What allowed for that?
I think these mid-game adjustments by the coaches, by us. They did a really good job calming us down, but we all got to be better as an offense and put up some better points next week.
Thank you for the time.
Yeah, thank you.
Dave?
Well, Taylor, you heard, obviously you were talking to Matt Campbell about the trust he has in Rocco Beck. He gives them, they give their quarterback 2 plays there.
Yep.
To make the right decision, to make the right read, and he did.
That is the part of it where you ask me, what would you do? I lean conservative, kick the field goal. When you've got a player like Rocco Beck who's played that much football, who's won 18 games for you, who's been in the fire, who you completely and totally trust, you put the ball in your quarterback's hands, and he paid it off. And how about that? Taylor Mauser was telling us before the game, the communication between those two is so good. The trust is so real. Give him 2 plays, let him look at the defense and decide which he likes the most. And boy, it could not have played out any better for Rocco Beck than Iowa State. What a win.
It started with turnovers early on, and Dylan Edwards, he never played again after this. One of K-State's best players got hurt on that muff punt that was recovered by Iowa State, but then the Cyclones gave it right back. So no score at that point. There were 4 total turnovers in the first half, 2 by each team. one of 2 passing touchdowns for Rocco Becht. Avery Johnson had a pair of touchdown passes. Each quarterback had a rushing score as well. But this was a decision that could come back to haunt Chris Klieman, electing to go for it on 4th down inside his own 30. Becht with the touchdown to make it a 2-score game. K-State comes right back. Avery Johnson finds Jaron Bradley, inexplicably gets behind the defense 15 seconds later to make it a 1-score game again. But then on 4th down, Rocco Becht finding Carson Hansen to put the game away.
What a second half, and exactly as we all expected. One that's going to come down to the wire, a 1-score game. It always is when Kansas State and Iowa State meet up, regardless of what continent you're on, Mr. Pash.
And look, the Dylan Edwards injury, Chris Klieman told Taylor McGregor at halftime that he's out for the game. We don't know the severity of that. Again, they've got a game next week. They got a whole season to go. That could play a role in what happens to Kansas State down the road. Ultimately, what does this mean for Iowa State? It's, yes, a win over their rival. It's 1 game. You still got 11 to go. But is this something that can catapult them to another double-digit win season? Because we know both teams, winner or loser of this game, has not fared well the rest of the season. Florida State, the greatest example of that, just 2 wins all of last year.
Both these teams, how they handle going back and the jet lag in these next couple of weeks, that's going to be a real key. But I think that this win, can it catapult Iowa State back to a double-digit win season, back to Arlington? Absolutely. I mean, I think without question, I think coming in, a lot of people thought they were going to have a great chance to get back to Arlington already. Now this gives you just 1 game up. But for Kansas State, all is not lost. I mean, they can still, the grind is going to be more real. It's going to be tougher. But so is life in the Big 12. It's competitive each and every Saturday. There are no gimmies, and it's going to be a fun season to watch unfold and see how both of these teams do going back and handling this next month stretch of the season.
Arizona State, the defending champs, will go to Ames in early November. Kansas State doesn't have to play the Sun Devils. But both teams will be in action at home next week after a 24-21 finish here in Dublin, Ireland, wrapping up the 4th edition of the Aer Lingus College Football Classic. For Dusty Dvorak, Taylor McGregor, Dave Pash saying so long from Dublin as we send you back to the studio. Kevin Connors, EJ Manuel, and Roddy Jones.